Welcome back, Jeremy. How have you been?
I've been good. How about you?
Yeah, all good, all good. I was just at Daytona Milton Keynes, the neighbor track to where you drive. Hopefully next time I can pop down to Sandown.
Yeah.
When did you go? Because I saw you submitted your footage from there.
Last week.
Not bad, not bad. The weather looked good, I have to say.
Not really.
Was it raining then, or?
It's classic British weather, went on and off, raining and sunny.
Ah, gotcha. What's up, Callius?
Nothing much.
How's it going? Welcome. Callius, you joined us last week, right? For one of the sessions?
I didn't join as such, but I asked you to review my footage.
Yes. Which track was that again? Just remind me.
Al Ain Raceway.
Al Ain. Okay, excellent. Well, we're definitely going to get some analysis of that done. Not to worry. What's up, Stevie? Can you hear us, Stevie? I think Stevie is muted. No worries. We'll get Stevie to rejoin once his mic is on. I'm just setting up the live as well. We seem to have got that sorted. What we're going to do today, guys, is go through everybody's footage who is in today's session. And it looks like we've got 4 drivers so far. Let's start with Marcel, because Marcel, we didn't chat after your session 2 weeks ago, right?
No, that was last week.
I believe
I think.
you got a PB, a new PB.
Yeah,
right?
two times in a row. Yes.
That was amazing. So, what time did you improve from? What were the lap times?
Initially, I had a 39.12. I did drop down with your first tips to 38.68, and I dropped to 38.29 in just 2 sessions.
Excellent.
Yeah,
So a good nearly 1 second difference. Yeah.
And just in the 2 U-turns, because I didn't apply the changes you offered me in the last part. I didn't do that right away because it was too many for me.
No. Step by step. I mean, you go to the track regularly. So have you been recently then to?
Yeah, this Sunday morning is now. Yeah, I'm really tired. Sorry. This morning we went, but the surface was really horrible today. So I was way over the 39 today because always sliding. I think so. I couldn't drive my own lines.
Gotcha. Did you have any footage from today then?
YouTube blocked me because I hit the upload ratio, so I don't have them yet.
Really? Is that an upload ratio?
I put in 10 other YouTube things, and then he says, no.
There's a limit to how many you can upload also. No, I'm happy about that. Well, in terms of the track itself then, anywhere else you were struggling on? Maybe we could we could review.
No, not really, because today was a mess. Let's clear about that. But I still need to do the S's. I do turn in a bit later, and I end up at the outside line. So that's cool. Yeah. Maybe that's why I also do the 38.2. But not especially something yet. I know I have to lose weight. That's for me now the main thing, because I lack a lot of top speed.
Yeah, that's just something that'll happen over time.
You cannot help me with losing weight.
I think if you want to reach, what's the record there? 37, is it?
No, you need a consistent pace of 37. Then you're in the middle group.
Okay.
The top guys do a 36 to 36.4. So really, really fast for a rental cart.
Yeah, they must be very light though. Maybe 60
Yeah.
kilos.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something,
60
right?
kilos and
Yeah.
150 in height, something like that. Compared to me with 190 and 135 kilos, that's way.
I think keep up the practice. Try to
Oh,
get as much
absolutely.
out the line as you can, and sort of you'll reach a limit where you're like, okay, maybe 38 flat or 37.9 might be your limit.
That's
And
my
then,
goal. That's my
yeah,
goal.
I think 37 is achievable. Few tenths can be found. Also in the kart, some days the kart will run better. It's good to chat with mechanics at the track, and they can guide you. And then it'd be good to just speak with some of the lighter drivers, get them to do some kind of a weight experiment, or speak with different guys of different weight and similar driving styles. Because
The track offered me a duo kart session. So I
oh,
maybe
okay, yeah,
they have kids with dads doing the duo kart,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
will sit next to me and they will point down the lines or the breaking point or
That's a good way to do it.
but also remind me, keep your hands on your steering wheel. Go to the outside, and not in
Yeah.
almost on the outside. Things like that.
Yeah. Well, what you want to do is compare with the different weight categories and find out how much, an ideal timing looks for you. Because I think at some tracks, like my local track, every 5 kilos, or was it? Yeah, every 10 kilos is nearly 1 second. So if you do the
You got a long track,
calculations,
right?
it's lots of straights. So
Oh,
you
lots of
lose,
straights. Yeah, okay.
heavier guys will lose it there. But we encourage the heavier drivers that, look, if you're within this 2 second window, as we calculated, you're generally doing fine, and try and compete with people your weight. So that's something you can look into as well. And also, have you tried any endurance driving before, or is it
No,
only sprint?
when I do 3 heats, I'm exhausted.
Okay.
So I'm not ready yet, and the speed is of course too slow.
Yeah.
But 3 sessions with a high grip track is impossible.
Right.
Everything will hurt.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
because I'm an old guy, but everything will hurt.
No, normally some tracks run endurance races throughout the year, whether it's 3 hour, 6 hour, and then obviously you have the longer ones. Those are great to take your driving to the next level. You establish a team, and it's a good bit of fun, just to push yourself in terms of stamina, and then of course teamwork and things like that. You learn. So it's something worth looking to, maybe even in another track.
Cool.
Well, what we'll do, we'll hopefully, wait for some more footage of yours, which I'm sure you're going to get over the next few weeks.
Oh, absolutely. I booked already the next 2 Saturdays. So
excellent. Try and get some recording done, and let us know how it goes. Even if it's different conditions, it'll be nice to analyze.
okay, cool. Cheers.
It's been a pleasure, Marcel. Let's move on to Jeremy and then Callius. Hello, Salman. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Thank you for joining us. I remember you joined last week, right?
Yeah.
How have you been? Have you done any racing this week or since last week?
Yes, I've been.
Awesome. Is it a competition you did, or just for practice? It was
No. It's for practice.
for practice. Okay, great. Because I know they do. Well, they used to do SWS when they had the Saudi carts. Do they still do that, or some kind of competition like that at Muscat Speedway?
I don't know.
Check with the staff, because I know for many years they did it. Actually, I did a few of those rounds, and it's very, very nice because you have the regular drivers join, and it's a good way to keep up your practice.
Yeah.
So Salman, what we're going to do is come to your footage soon. We're going to do a nice analysis of the Oman track. Before that, I want to go through Jeremy's footage, then Callius, and then we'll come to you, all right? So just hang in there. All right, Jeremy, I'm just bringing up your footage. and you've shared a link to Daytona Sandown Park. Let's just get that up so everyone can see.
Yep.
So this was 52.9. Is that a PB? Is that a personal best? Excellent, excellent. Talk me through this day of racing. Was it a weekend?
Weekend.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like a congested session, or was this just a free lap you got?
A free lap I got. It was very
Okay.
busy.
Because that's not like Daytona at weekend to get a free track. I remember I did a 20-minute practice, right? This wasn't even a race, and it was rammed. So they get booked pretty well. Was it raining before this or during the day?
So in the morning it was raining here, then the track dried up, obviously, then it like rained for like a minute, then went sunny again, so it's just yeah.
Just 1 second as I'm just checking. Is it lagging for you, or is it quite smooth, the playback?
I think it's smooth for me.
Excellent. I'm just putting it into full screen now. Let's just see if that lags. I don't think it should. So overall, 52.9. What was your timing before that? Do you remember your best lap time?
53
point
just flat.
Yeah, so marginal gain there. Now overall, you know, we discussed, I remember last week, this is or week before that, it's a track with lots of hairpins, and you're basically trying to focus on exit speed, also the type of apex as well, you know, for the different corners. And in this lap itself, what were you doing good? What did you feel the strengths were? What was easy for you?
I think the last couple of corners.
Okay.
And these first two, but the third and like this one is still
this one
struggling on. And sometimes the one just coming up now. Yeah,
just coming up now. Actually, when I watched the footage, I noticed those same things. Firstly, if we go to the good things on this lap, first corner and second corner, very smooth. If you watch your steering wheel, I know we don't have too much of an angle there, but just look at the bottom of the screen. You're relatively smooth. You're holding one angle of steering, and you know you're trying to put as less input in as possible. Were you using a lot of your body weight in terms of leaning and
like
things?
shifting, like leaning, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you felt that was making a difference?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, continue doing that, because what that will do is help you with cornering, and as I mentioned, it'll reduce the amount of steering input you put in. What the last thing you want to do, especially in these Sodi karts, is put more than, I'd say, 45 or 50 degrees of angle. The moment you go beyond that, you start scrubbing the tires, then you scrub off speed, and you know it's going to lose your momentum. It takes time to build up. What we could do, let's go through it corner by corner, and eventually get to some of the parts that you're struggling with. Turn one, is it absolutely flat for you, or was there a bit of a lift?
Flat.
Super. Turning in, I'm just looking at this point now. Head down, human DRS. Boom. So just as the curb on the left sort of ends, turning into the inside, what you're doing is you're skipping the early part of the corner. You're really going for a late apex. I would say on this lap in itself, there's a few tenths to be found there. Let's go over and share the screen where you can see my marker entire. So what we're trying to do is, yep, there we go. Boom, done. I'd say you're turning in quite early. And one thing I want to ask is, how was kart 30 in terms of speed and handling?
I found it pretty fine.
Was it quite quick? Were you catching people on, let's say, the straights, or keeping up with them at least?
Oh, yeah.
That's good. So it wasn't a slow kart.
No.
Handling wise now, did you have to be aggressive with the steering? Did you feel there was understeering in some corners or maybe oversteering?
No, fine, good car.
Super. So I think all this is about, in terms of the first corner, is just getting a bit closer to the white line. Use the white line as a reference. It's fine to skip the early part of the corner, as we said, but basically just after this marshal is on the right side, that's where we want to try to close the distance, meaning get almost onto the white line and then keep it there. What we do by keeping it nice and tight is we're reducing the meters and we don't end up slightly, away from the inside edge over here. So what happens is you want to take the shortest path possible in, especially the Saudi kart, because it's about keeping our revs high. And the shorter the distance, let's say this was a race scenario and there's somebody in front of you. If the guy in front of you took a slightly wider line, he missed the apex similar to what you did here, or missed the white line and opened up, just by you being slightly tighter, you can pass him here, right? So shorter distance always wins. A couple of things you could do in this case to make the apex is just be a bit more aggressive with the steering. Some karts, unless you're quite aggressive on the initial input, they won't rotate as easy. So we bring it back to, where is it? Over here. So as we're approaching the first turn, this initial input should be quite aggressive, and then you can slowly, open up the wheel. So high amount of steering input, slowly open up the wheel now, because what you'll feel when you're aggressive with the steering, it'll go quite early into the corner. So then slowly open up the wheel, and then use the white line as your guide. Yeah, try to be onto that white line, even near the curb. I've seen some drivers do. So we're shortening up the distance. Basically, if we're able to be on this curb, then we can drive to the next corner. Similar to how you're doing. Talk to me about the braking over here. What were you using as a reference, let's say, or was it on feeling? How was it for turn 2?
I used like hard braking but short, then on accelerator.
Excellent. So similar to like a threshold brake.
Yeah.
Is there any marker or tire you're using as a reference for when you brake?
Tarmac.
That's it. I remember we discussed that. So just over here you can see the tarmac changes. And I want to just see this very quickly in fast motion. So you're approaching the corner, high speed, hit the brakes, and you're going for, I'd say, a relatively late apex here again. So it's interesting you mentioned you went for hard braking. What I look for, especially when you go for hard braking, is the moment you start counter steering, because that's when you feel the rear end of the kart step out. That's what you're trying to achieve, that rear end rotation with the brakes, using the brakes to turn. Just watch your steering wheel at the bottom of the screen, right? I know it's a bit difficult with the this bar that we got, timeline bar. You hit the brakes here on the tarmac. You've gone for your initial rotation, and then you're putting a bit more steering angle in now, holding that steering angle, trying to get the kart to the inside. You're still holding the steering angle if you look at just where the timestamp is at the bottom left. And now you're opening up, right? Overall, it's a good effort, And in terms of the line itself, look, you've hit a late apex. What you can experiment next time is getting the rear to step out a little more. So that's being harder on the brakes, right? More pressure on the brakes. What you want to achieve is, as you do the turn-in, you've hit the brakes hard now, feed more pressure, and it's a split second later, so just about now, your steering wheel should be opening up. So you should be getting it back to the middle, if not slightly to the left, right? Again, the more you hold it to the right, I see that there's a little more time to be gained there. So this is something you're going to have to get with practice. Again, I think this was the first time you went after a while, right? To the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 2 months.
2 months, yeah. And the main thing you were actually trying to implement here is the line. So step by step, everything you do step by step. Don't try and overwhelm yourself. Okay, I'm going to do the line now, then the braking, then this. Step by step. So for next time, hard on the brakes, try and initiate a bit of counter steering right after that initial turn in. So you turn into the right, hit the brakes with harder pressure, so then steering wheel will start to neutralize, you bring it to the middle. And what you'll feel is, you're controlling the rotation, and then you start feeding the power back down. Here, again, skip the early apex, and you're really delaying the turn into about here. Good effort. You could try to get onto the curb maybe slightly earlier. So that's fine. Skip that part. Then as the corner basically turns now, in this middle part, maybe try to get closer to the white line over here. So try and be on the white line mid-corner, and then, feel free to almost use up to the curb at the end. Stay to the right. So turn 3 now we're approaching. What was it that you're finding difficult about this corner?
Just like braking and turning. It's just, don't know, something about it I can't do right.
Okay, so I'm just watching the video in fast motion there. Whereabouts were you pressing the brakes, if you can recall?
I don't know, to be honest.
More on feeling, right? Because it's a pretty...
There's no really reference point here.
Yeah, it is on feeling. The best way I do this corner, the earlier the better. So I try to hit the brakes early, initiate rotation again, and really get onto this curb, Even if you can get 2 wheels onto this. So if you notice, the white line is actually faded. Where my yellow is, that's actually where the white line is. Go beyond that. Get 2 wheels onto this curb. The only way you do that, hard and early brakes. The idea with early brakes is, number one, you're less likely to overshoot the corner. The moment you overshoot the corner, less likely you're going to hit that apex. And we not only need to hit the inside apex, we need to ride the inside curb. So let's use the curb for turn 2 as a reference. So turn 2 curb is on our right side. It's on our right side. And then it sort of ends. You notice about there. That's where the curb ends. So judge it that a good meter or meter and a half before that is generally where you want to try to hit the brakes. Let's just quickly admit Yusuf before we continue. Hey, Yusuf, what's up? Can you hear us? I think he's muted. No worries. Welcome, Yusuf. We're just reviewing Jeremy's footage. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask after we finish this. We'll be happy to have you. So just as the curb on the right side starts to end, hit the brakes hard. One thing I want you to observe over here is, again, your steering. So I'm looking at, are you hitting peak pressure to initiate a bit of counter steering? You see, you've turned in over here, you're holding steering angle to the left. And as we go mid-corner now, you're still holding the steering angle to the left. Now you open up. So I'd say better. Based on that, it looks like you hit the brakes relatively hard. But what we want to do, hit the brakes early, initiate an early turn-in, right, to aim for that curb. And it's just after this period. So you've initiated a turn-in to the left. It's about now the rear end should start to kick out on you, should start to rotate. And that's where you got to control the rotation, start counter steering, right? Bring the steering wheel back to the middle. And what you do is start feeding the power early. That's the most important thing out of turn 3. So early braking means you get the kart slowed down early, you sacrifice a bit of time. You get the rotation done, so the rear end should kick out. And it's about now, before the corner, you know, we haven't even reached the apex yet. We're on the accelerator. Reason is we want to get the best possible exit. And if you combine that early braking, early acceleration, and you ride this curb, this will give your kart a nice boost heading onto the next straight. So just try to get closer there, ride that curb if anything. And again, it's about minimizing or taking the shortest route to the exit of the corner. So what we've done over here is we're heading out like this. When you get onto the curb on the left side over here, you're going to take a shorter path and do something like that. Yeah, or something like that. So all this time in the middle, or the space over here, these are meters that you save. And it's easy lap time to win. So as we discussed, turn 1, few tenths over there, a tenth maybe by going tighter. Turn 2, if you were a bit hard on the brakes, get more rotation, don't turn as much, few tenths over there. On the exit over here, use a bit of the curb, minimize the meters, that's a few tenths there already. So easy time to gain. Hello, Stevie. Can you hear us? You got a question, Stevie? No, Stevie's left the meeting now. No worries, we'll let him rejoin. Right, we're going on to the next straight, and talk to me about turn 4, which is coming up now. How are you with turn 4?
Sometimes it felt like I did it right. Other times it just didn't feel right at all.
Yeah. Turn 4, we got to take, not in isolation, we got to think of it as 2 corners. Because it's a double hairpin sequence. And our entry for turn 4 and what kind of apex we take will then dictate our entry and apex for turn 5. Let's try and bring up a map of Daytona Milton Keynes. Excuse me, Daytona Sandown, right?
Yeah.
So just bring that over here. There we go. Oh, beautiful. 4 and 5. And just by the overhead shot, you would say 4 is a tighter corner. And then 5 is also a hairpin, but it's a longer hairpin, and it flows more to the right. With any double hairpin, it's all about getting your braking done for the first one, and then ideally hitting a late apex. So what you can do is either be on the left-hand side of the track or in the middle of the track, right? And what we want to do is take turn 5, I'm going to put this in blue, flat. We don't want to be braking, we don't want to be lifting. We want to use that speed that we're building up on the exit of 4, carry that momentum into 5. So it's absolutely essential that we hit a late apex number 1 for this corner. Then the positioning of the kart should be middle or left. We don't want to be all the way on the right-hand side. That compromises our entry, and we're too tight. Let's just admit Stevie's back. So going back to the onboard, let's just see how you tackled it. First thing I'm looking for over here is actually the braking reference. Is it where the tarmac changes? The tarmac changed very early.
Then 2 kart lamps are through.
Excellent. Your entry is decent. Again, you're at the outside edge. You braked about 2 or 3 kart lengths, as you said, after the tarmac changes. This is a bit more grippy, this part. You're aiming for a late apex there, which is good. What happens you hit a mid to late apex there. Open up the steering wheel, and you've ended up on the right-hand side of the track. You see, we're all the way on the right.
Yeah.
So what happens is now for turn 5, you go back to the middle, and then you're trying to get tight over here. The kart's not gripping, it's sort of understeering, and we're away from the apex. So really easy way to change your line next time is number one, be as wide as possible on entry. So use the white line, if not that curb, as part of the track. You can really widen it up, especially in the dry over here. So what you want to do is almost be 2 wheels over that curb. Wider you can make this corner, the easier it is to take a late apex, which is just where this Daytona sign is on the lamppost. That's where we want to be hitting the apex. So widen it up. So we're going around the corner and we're going to try to go deep into the corner. What you can even do is practice a bit of late braking here. You can carry the brakes in the corner. See, that's something you can experiment based on your style. Some people can go early. You brake early, you get on the gas nice and early. 2 ways to do it. Experiment next time. Either early brakes or late brakes, but it should be deep into the corner. Continue in a straight line, almost as if you're going to overshoot it. So what you do is you can comfortably skip the early part of the corner, and then you need to target this curb to get onto. You want to get onto this inside curb, even 2 wheels over it. What that will help you do is not only get a bit more traction from taking the curb, you'll then be set up towards the middle part of the track or the left-hand side of the track. And you won't end up going wide over here, right? I think what happened mid-corner, maybe you had a bit too much speed or you opened up the steering wheel too quickly. That's why you ended up heading towards the right-hand side of the track. What did you feel in this corner? Were you consciously aware that you ended up on the right-hand side, or?
Yeah, I think I had too much speed entering it. That's why.
That's what it looks like. So for you then, bring the braking earlier. It's not a problem to sacrifice a bit of time on entry. What I'd rather you do is be smooth on entry. Again, use all of the curb, widen it up, and then have time and control to clearly target this late apex. What happens, especially when you carry too much speed, you're trying to do one thing, but because the tires aren't gripping, or you're just going too quickly, you'll overshoot. That's what's happened over here. You sort of gone for an apex, basically where the faded white line is, and then you've opened up. There's a lot of speed, end up on this side, and then you've had to correct yourself for the entry for the hairpin. What happens is, if we're on the left-hand side of the track now, we don't need to do this extra sort of zigzag. We don't need to go from here and then go back to the left and then to the right. Yeah. Another thing is looking at the momentum trace. I think this is something I can show you over here. So what's happened is maybe you've, let's go for the pen. So I'm putting in pink. So you've braked a bit late, let's say. Then the yellow is my gas. So then you've gone on gas, your gas. End up on the right side, and now the momentum is going to dip because you have to turn the steering wheel to go back to the middle. And through here, you're going to be fighting the revs, fighting the kart. So it's basically the second half of this section. That's where you're losing the momentum because you're having to adjust your line and things like that. What you could do next time, as we discussed, nice and wide entry, earlier on the brakes, slowly feed the power back down, build up the speed, late apex, end up on the left-hand side of the track or in the middle. And now it's so much easier to take turn 5 flat. And also the angle that you're approaching turn 5 is much wider to open up the corner for you. And you've continued that momentum over there. Talk to me about turn 5 in this case. Was it pretty much flat? You took it?
Yeah, it was flat.
It was flat, right? What we want to avoid next time is this, zigzag way. We're going from the right to the left and back to the right. We'll be on the left-hand side next time. You can even go for a slightly earlier turn in, and it's absolutely essential that you take this curb on the inside. So what you want to do is get up at least to the white line, and if not, 2 wheels over the red and white. 2 wheels over the red and white. Stay tight, especially for the end of it. It's a hairpin. We're going for a later apex, so use all of this curb on the left-hand side. What's up, Andre? Welcome back.
Long time no see.
It's nice to have you join us. We're just reviewing Jeremy's footage, and then hopefully we'll come back to you. Do you have any footage you submitted today?
No, I just came to watch other people's footage.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy. Now we're coming to the end of the track, and you told me that you're more confident and comfortable this time. What do you think was the difference here as we come to the final couple of corners?
Don't know. I just felt like I was doing it right.
Yeah. Sometimes you just feel the flow is there, and just looking at that, wow, excellent, really, really good effort. It starts all the way from the first hairpin, hit the brakes, going for a late apex, end up in the middle of the track for the second to last corner. Can easily flick the kart to the left over here, trying to take a bit of curb. Open up for the final corner nice and wide on entry. Very, very good use of the curb at the inside. And that gives you a very, very nice exit. Now, a few things that we can refine on this occasion. I'd say the first hairpin over here was quite a good effort. Are you braking at the surface change, basically over here that we see?
Yeah, but I figured out like near to the end, I should have broke like where the curb started.
Okay, so basically, boom, just over here. Yeah, the earlier the better over here. That's what I found. And I like how you're taking it nice and wide. You're giving yourself plenty of chance to open up the corner. Maybe go for an earlier break next time. What we want to do is also initiate a bit of oversteer. Yeah. So you want to flick the kart. You want to get the rear end to step out. What you're doing over here is you're holding a lot of steering rotation. Just look at it over here now. This is a great freeze frame. That's at least 60 degrees, 70 degrees of rotation. It's quite a lot. And you're holding that throughout the entry of the corner. So you're scrubbing time now. And then as you reach the apex, then you've sort of opened up, and just at the exit now you're completely neutral. So just be hard on the brakes there. I prefer you to brake a bit earlier as well. Slowly feed the power back down because you brake early, get the rear to step out, then feed the power. And also, ever so slightly onto the curbs. Did you try that last session where, using the curbs on this section?
No, I didn't.
Okay, that's something you can try for next time. Riding these curbs, especially when it's dry. What you're doing is, this is technically counted as part of the racetrack. So 2 wheels over that is legal, and you're reducing meters. Yeah, you're taking the shortest path. What's very good though on exit, you're pretty much in the middle of the track now, setting yourself up nice for the fast left. This was flat, the fast left?
Yeah.
Excellent. What you want to do again is just use a bit more of the curb. I see you're coming up to the white line. However, you'll have to, use a bit more of the inside curb there. Get 2 wheels onto it. Ride it on the left. And what you can end up doing is getting off the curb just over here. What happens is that the later you can come off the curb, so the more you stay on the left, the easier it is you're set up for the final corner. So you barely have to reposition the kart to go back out to the left. What's happened over here, because you were in the middle, right? It's a very, very minor thing. From the middle, now we're veering back off to the left, and we're opening up the corner. Something very, very small for next time. use a bit more of the curb, stay on the left over here. Shortest path possible to the next corner. That's always what we're targeting. Now, final corner. I think this was excellent. Where were you sort of hitting the brakes here?
Tarmac change.
Yep, that's a very, very nice reference, and I'd say it's at quite a good spot where it's not too late in the corner, but pretty much, yeah, you want to be on the brakes about here. And lovely apex. What you can do though is initiate a bit more oversteer. So look how we're turning steering wheel. If you're a bit harder on the brakes, it's about here where we want to start getting the rear end to step out. Initiate that rotation, start counter steering a bit. And also on exit, use all of the track, right? Up to the white line. Even beyond that. There's a tiny bit of road left there. How was it that day? Did you experiment getting a wider exit, maybe even a bit of the curb on exit?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay, something to try out for next time then. It's, it might be a few hundredths of a second you gain, but every little helps. Getting out as wide as possible so it slingshots you onto the final straight. And that should be, I'd say, if we're at 52.9 now, easily 52.5. There's a good four, maybe 5/10 to be found there in the next time. What's your overall thinking after reviewing this lap?
Next time, hopefully I can improve.
Yeah, that's always the aim, but step by step. This time you're focusing on the lines. Your first time back at the track after a couple of months. Actually, it's just about getting used to the track again, the physicality again, the track conditions. And then the other thing is you can now try the next time is the braking, right? Just being more aggressive on the brakes, higher pressure, get the rear to step out. This is something that you practice in stages. So next time you're out on track, first 5 laps, build up that brake pressure until you hit the peak, which is where you feel the rear end stepping out. Did you experience that, or did you hit peak pressure like that where you felt the rear coming out? Anytime?
I didn't feel that at all.
Okay, so purely dedicate the next session that you do driving just to getting the rear to step out. And even if you spin, no problem. You've gone beyond the threshold there, but that's what we want to try and establish. When's the next time you're planning to go to the track?
Hello, Omar. How you doing?
Welcome, Guy.
How are we all doing today?
We're all good. We're just with Jeremy. We're going to come back to you, Guy, in just a moment.
Awesome.
When are you planning to go to the track next, Jeremy?
In a month or 2.
Okay, so you got some time. You got plenty of time then to review the analysis we did today, and I'd say don't overthink it as well, because overall there's a big improvement in your line. You got the lines there, and go out there and enjoy it. That's the main thing. Experiment something new, as we mentioned, for the braking, and that will add a new challenge to your driving. Did you see any faster drivers in your session that day? Were there any quick guys?
No, not really. I think they were the same speed as me or slower.
Okay, so what position did you finish in the rankings after?
It was a race.
Yeah, okay.
I took in the first couple laps. I took someone out. So I got had to go in the pits. So I dropped down quite a lot. I was first.
The sin bin.
Yeah.
They call it. Right. So when was this lap from? Quali? The 52.9
Oh
or the
no,
race?
this was like near the end. I just had clean laps, so I just thought I'd go for it.
Gotcha. It'll be interesting next time if you share the full race. Be nice to analyze it with you. What happened, or which position did you start, and then what happened?
I've got the full race with me. I just have to upload it to YouTube.
Yeah. Well, it would be nice to review maybe in a future session.
Yeah.
But which position did you start?
I started second. went up
Okay.
first. Then
Yeah.
took the guy out, went down to 12th, then came back
Okay.
to 5th.
Right. Fifth. That's a very, very solid recovery. So it sounds like a fun race with lots of overtakes and
Yeah.
action. No, that's really awesome. Well, thanks for sharing your footage, Jeremy. Let's
Can
let's
I
hopefully have you.
ask something really quickly?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with my turning, should I be more aggressive on like?
So it's not about being aggressive with your turning. It's about using the brakes to turn, right? It's a technique that we teach drivers. The harder you are on the brakes, the less you're going to have to turn. You see, the moment you start being too aggressive with the turning, that can unsettle the car. What you don't want to do in the long term, right? I mean, I know you're starting in karting now, you're getting back into it. It's fine how you're turning at the moment, but we're holding the steering angle for too long in the corners. So you have your initial input, then you're holding it to the apex. You get to the apex, then you're opening up. What you want to do is have that initial turn in and then use the brakes as you're turning to then rotate the kart for you. So the steering will then naturally go back to the center, if not a bit of counter steering. It's a technique where you're flicking the kart in the corners. The less you turn the steering wheel, the less steering angle you hold, the less time you're scrubbing off those tires, and the faster you can get.
Okay. So also, the push-pull technique with the steering wheel.
Yes.
Should I use that?
Absolutely.
Can you explain it? Because I don't really know.
Yeah. Well,
that one.
just give me one moment. Welcome, Austin. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Austin?
Afternoon.
Welcome. Austin, we're just reviewing Jeremy's footage, and then we're going to come to you after that, okay?
All right.
Awesome. So basically, push-pull technique. Jeremy, if I could just share my screen again. Let's say we're going through turn 1. This is Sandown Park. Is that my entire screen? No, that's not. Let's get this to be done. Okay. So let's imagine we're taking turn 1. And what you need to do is the outside hand always pushes. So in this case, your outside hand is your left hand. And the inside hand does the pulling. Now, if you hold up your hands in front of you as if we're taking turn 1, when you push from the outside, right, you're initiating a bit of rotation. And naturally, the inside hand will follow. It'll pull ever so slightly. Obviously, when you're on track in the moment, you'll feel this more. But the harder you actually push against the wheel, right, the easier it will be to turn the car. And what you'll find is the more you push against the steering wheel, the more it's going to rotate. Similarly, if we go to like turn 3, for example, we have a left-hand corner now. So this is an important corner. This time, your outside hand will be your right arm. Yep. And the inside is going to be the left. Push as hard as possible against the steering wheel. Inside hand will naturally pull a bit. Combine this with leaning. As you said, you're practicing leaning. You'll get a nice bit of rotation, and you'll limit the amount of steering input that you put in. It's easy to sort of explain. Okay, push over here, inside hand pulls. But when you actually go out on track and do it, that's where you'll feel, the different bits of rotation.
Oh, okay.
So the less you push, the less it's going to turn. The more you push against the wheel, you'll feel, okay, the kart is turning more over here. So it's just a matter of practice. Think of that. Every time outside corner, or outside hand arm should be pushing on the wheel. Give it a good bit of pressure. Don't hold back.
Okay.
And
thank you.
And Omar, when you say pushing, you mean just push
Yes.
against the steering column, or actually push and rotate the steering wheel?
Push and rotate. So you're pushing, and of course you'll rotate. But the moment you start rotating and pushing, you'll feel you won't need to do excessive turning. as opposed to only pulling with the inside hand, right? So what a lot of drivers do, the new to karting, is they'll pull on the inside hand. It's similar to when you drive like a road car. You know, you sort of pull the inside. You neglect the outside. In karting, we try to keep a fixed posture, and we're using the outside to do all of the pushing, and the pull will naturally come ever so slightly.
Got it. And what is the logic behind doing the pushing rather than pulling?
It's actually a technique used in owner karting. When the karts are a lot faster, we try to apply a steering technique called neutral steering. So we're keeping the steering wheel as neutral as possible and using our body to do all of the turning. The less we turn the wheel, faster we're going to go. What happens if you look at cases where the kart has understeer? Understeer is where you have to turn excessively. There's less grip on the front tires, and that scrub time. The more you turn your wheel. So we're trying to eliminate that with using our bodies to turn the kart.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Welcome, Saad. Welcome. Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
Excellent. Saad, you joined last week, right?
Yep,
I believe you submitted some footage for, was it?
Karting Town.
Karting Town, that's it. We're going to go through that soon. Not too...
I'm gonna send a different one because I have a race this Friday,
Yeah.
but it's in a different layout. So if we could go over that.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Sure. So what we're going to do is we've had lots of people join in between. What's up, Guy? How have you been?
I've been good. I don't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to share some good news with everybody today.
Go for it. We're having a bit of a break now.
I don't know if anyone can read what that says. Omar, you'll probably know because you're from the UK.
Team Sport. Okay.
So I had my first shift at Team Sport today, which went awesomely. It was really fun.
Wow.
Got to teach them the cadets at the track, improving their lap time. So that was a really good time.
If you just fill the viewers in on what Team Sport is and what role you're doing there.
Okay, so Team Sport is the biggest indoor karting provider in the UK. They have 40 odd tracks around the UK. My track is my home track, which is perfect because I've been going there for 9 years now. And my role is teaching. Well, what Omar's doing right now is with you guys is teaching people how to improve at go karting through their race academy.
That's
so
awesome.
Really happy to have that. And I got one lap for Omar to review. See if we can find a single fault in my lap record at Acton.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to be visiting Acton soon, yeah? So maybe you need to be giving me the tips. I've never been to that track.
hey, listen. I'm excited for the 8th. I mean, we know what's going on. I mean, don't know the rest of the guys.
What we're going to hopefully do is collab with Guy. If you guys aren't familiar, Guy or GWI Racing, you can check out his channel. He also does karting videos. And for a long time, we've been trying to arrange a collab where we can, meet up at the track, do some racing, and 1v1. Yeah, is that what we're doing?
Of course. Just to quickly update you now, because I know texting is difficult. It's not all 3 track, or not all 4. It's just 3 because Docklands have no availability. So it's going to be Edmonton first, then Mitcham, then Acton, because Acton's closest to the airport for you.
Excellent. Well, it's a speed run that we're doing, so we're trying to do as many tracks as possible. And that'll be interesting because a lot of these tracks are electric. Is that correct? They've changed.
Edmonton isn't. So we're going to have one petrol track involved, which is going to be a lot of fun, in my opinion. Edmonton's a great track, in my opinion.
Wow. What's the most physical track you'd say out of the 3?
Edmonton.
Is that two levels as well?
They're all over 2 levels. In fact, Mitcham has four ramps. So you go up twice, go down twice. So it's still on 2 levels, but you just go up, down twice. I mean, don't get me wrong, because the petrol carts are always more stiff to steer than the electric carts. So they've always been more physical. And that's the only reason why, because Mitcham would be more physical if it was still in petrol. But because the Sodi electric carts, you can literally steer them with 1-2 fingers. They're so light on the steering.
Yeah.
So it's going to be awesome. I'm going to upload my footage now. So if you have time to review, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. If we get some time, definitely we're gonna go for it. It'll be nice to review that today. What we're going to do, we've had a lot of new people join as we were reviewing Jeremy's footage. So we're going to go in this order. We're going to go for Callias. I know Callias has been waiting. Then we can go for Salman. Salman will have a nice chat about the Muscat track. We'll then go with Austin, because Austin, you've submitted some footage. Austin, welcome. Is this your first track help you're joining?
This is, yeah.
Amazing. Where are you joining us from?
I am from the United States, primarily the East Coast.
Which state do you live in?
North Carolina.
Okay. Is that where your karting track is as well?
Yeah.
Amazing. What's the name of the karting track that you showed in the video?
It used to be called GoPro Motorplex, but the name was changed to Trackhouse Motorplex, if that rings a bell.
Excellent. It rings some kind of a bell. I might be something different I'm thinking of. There's one driver in the US. He also has a YouTube channel, Captain Awesomeness. Have you seen his videos before?
I don't think I have now.
Yeah, Captain Awesomeness. He's one of the drivers at. I think it's a different state. I need to check again, but the track looks very similar. The way these sessions work, and you probably noticed as you joined in recently, going to go through your footage, have a nice debrief. You give us a brief on it, and I saw that you're actually racing in pro karts, right?
No. So this is a different class in the US. It's called Briggs LO 206.
Right. So what kind of engine is that? 4-stroke or 2-stroke?
It is a 4-stroke, 206 cc, so fairly low powered, but still very competitive.
And the chassis is a pro kart chassis, though.
No, that is a custom 4-stroke chassis. It's called an MGM, and it's only meant for 4-stroke, specifically Briggs racing.
Okay. But it's different to your typical arrive and drive or rental car.
It's it looks like
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it's lighter, so you have more speed, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
How many kilometers are you hitting on the straights?
Let me translate it, because it's 55 to
miles.
56 miles per hour. Yeah.
55 mph.
That is 90 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, that's not bad. So it's definitely more than your typical rental car. So it must be quite fun to drive.
They are, yeah. It's a big momentum class.
Excellent. All right, as I said, we're going to come to your footage soon. Let's go ahead to Callias first, and we'll come back hopefully. All right.
All right.
Callias, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Callias, you're joining us from UAE, right?
Yeah.
And is it Al Ain, your local track?
Yeah, Alain Raceway is my local track.
Wow. That's a very nice track you got. They do a lot of the Rotax Max Challenge as well, right?
Yeah, they do.
So the footage you've shared, I'm just trying to locate it actually. Let's see. I got it now. Perfect. Let's just share my screen. This is in the rental karts. Just wait a few moments as the lag is going to go. Don't worry. Let's give it a few moments. Talk me through this session. It's at night. Is this a typical practice session for you?
Yeah, but this it's kind of old. It was filmed 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. I see you've got your own equipment and things as well. Do you go regularly to this track?
Every week, yeah.
Every week, awesome. So, are there any competitions that you also do at this track?
No, we just go.
Awesome.
Yeah, but we've gone for less than a month.
Okay. So, how long have you been coming to this track?
Less than a month, yeah.
Oh, you less than a month at this track?
Yeah.
And in karting in general, you've been doing for less than a month?
Yeah.
Wow. How are you finding it?
It's really fun.
You're enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
Because especially when you start getting your own equipment and stuff, I see you're becoming serious and you're ready to go to the next level. Well, I'll be honest with Align, it's one of the best tracks, and I'd say it's quite bumpy as well. You know, when you go in the faster karts, start going in the two-stroke karts, that's when this becomes quite a physical track. But based on your footage and what we can see, it's more of a momentum track in these four strokes. Have you? I know you've been there a limited amount of time. Have you sort of found out which karts are good, which karts are bad?
I for sure have.
So which number? This 52 is it? You've taken?
This is 58.
58. Okay. How was 58?
58. The speed is good, but the handling is not so great.
Ah, okay. What did you feel was the issue with handling?
The angle of the steering wheel doesn't match up with the angle of the wheel.
It's off-centered. I mean, based on just looking at these first couple of minutes of footage, you're a smooth driver, right? You're obviously keeping on the track. Got a bit of lap traffic over here, which you pass. Did you feel you have to turn a lot more for the corners just to rotate the car?
In kart 58, I do.
Yeah.
But with the other karts, it's fine.
Gotcha. Let's go through a flying lap. Where was the best lap? Was it the beginning over here?
Yeah, I think it's the one.
Cool. Yeah, because you lap some people. Is it here? The lap starts.
Yeah.
Super. Let's go through it. So, in terms of the actual timing, what was this lap?
1:23.
1:23. Okay. And the record there is.
Record there set by one of the employees is 1:17.
Okay, but remember that's ideal conditions. I'm sure the kart they got was a lot faster as well, because 6 seconds is quite an improvement. I mean, and that wasn't like last month they set it, right? That was a while back.
That was a long ago.
Yeah, that's probably when they first got these karts. To be fair, these are. It looks like these are typical biz karts. I don't know what anyone else sees.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm on the website and I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
The karts are, I think, DR by Go Karting.
Bia.
No, it's a DR.
Dia, okay. Looking at this kart on the right side as well, you're passing. Were there junior drivers in your session over here? Or everyone's in the same?
Okay. We're all juniors, including me.
Okay, so these are junior karts. Or these are adult karts?
No, juniors.
Juniors, yeah. See, that's another thing you got to bear in mind. The track record must have been set in adult karts, which are a bit more powerful. Okay, they're a bit heavier, but they still got more power. What you need to really focus on, number one, is keeping the revs high, especially when this is a professional race kart track. They do the two-stroke championship Rotax Max Challenge, so it's wide. It's a bit bumpy and things, but your objective is about keeping the momentum high. Let's just change over to the different share screen. What are you struggling with overall at this track? Certain corners?
For me, certain corners.
Okay.
Especially near to the end part.
Okay. Let's go through it step by step. Let's watch from turn one. Basically, we've come across the main straight. We're coming down into turn one. This is your first braking point. Talk me through the braking over here. What are you sort of using as a reference?
Usually I use right there. Wait, if you go back a bit.
Sure.
Where you there's supposed to be a turn there, but it's blocked off.
Okay, a bit more then. So
no, not that one.
not that one. Okay.
Like there. Over. Wait, if you go a bit more. Wait.
Yeah. There we go. Just over here. Nice and deep into the corner. What we're dealing with over here is it's a long left. Before that, I want to bring up track map. Let's go for this. It would have been good to have a couple of the other drivers from the team here in Qatar, because they recently did a race in Al-Ain, and it'd be nice to hear their feedback. I'm just gonna go ahead and draw the layout. Before that, what Guy, you've got
I geeked out and found the kart. It is it's the Honda GX270. That's the engine, and the chassis is an Intrepid Optima.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
There you go. I prove my usefulness.
No, absolutely. Well, 270cc, that's relatively powerful. I don't know if those are the junior karts or not. So I'm just drawing.
Those are junior. The adults are 390.
390. There you go. There's a big difference in the CC. I'm just drawing out the layout I believe you took. Is this the layout?
Yeah, that's the correct layout.
Yeah, excellent. Overall, we got a combination of high-speed turns, I'd say, technical part of the track, which is over here, which is over here. It's a nice combination of corners. If we look at turn one itself, you said you're braking just at the kink over here as it turns to the left. It's a fast left-hander, and the most important thing with these types of corners is looking at what comes next. So we got a long straight. What we want to do for turn one is try to be on the brakes as less as possible and carry speed and keep the revs high, the momentum on to this long straight over here. So what you can even do, right? I don't know how early in the corner that was, but carrying a lot of speed through the first turn, down the main straight, get on the brakes nice and early, and then just try to power through the corner. This is a nice effort. You know, I was just listening to the revs over there. So you were relatively early on the brakes. Let's just listen again. It's about here. You broke actually slightly early over here. The revs go down. You're trailing off the brakes. Now you're back on power, and you're using all of the track. Small thing on this lap, for example, right? We could do get closer to the apex at the inside. Always use the curbs as the limit on the track, right? We want to get at least up to the white line, if not a bit onto the curb. The curbs here are nice because they slant a little, they go diagonal, and then they're flat. So you can even kiss the curb at the inside. Have you tried riding the inside curb for turn one?
Yes, I have.
How was the experience with that?
It nearly threw my kart off track, but that was fine.
Okay, it's something that you need to practice over time. It's about hitting at the right angle, about taking the right amount of curb as well. But especially on this lap, try and get up to the white line, and go for a mid to late apex. So it's about here in the corner or just as it ends. What this will allow you to do is keep up that speed whilst also keeping your steering wheel neutral. I like how you're doing almost a neutral steer over here. Coming back to the outside, use all of the track, which is excellent. And now we're coming up to, I'd say, the more technical part of the track. As we just watch it flow, we have a fast left into a right, coming up to a tight right now, back into a left. So this sequence, we're going to rewind all the way to here, is all about where you place your car. Going back to our track diagram, you can almost see the rubbered line that majority people take. Generally, this is the line you want to be on. Nice and wide on entry for the first one. What a lot of people are doing is they're going all the way to the right-hand side of the track and staying at the right-hand side and hugging it all the way through. So what they're not doing is left, staying left, and then opening up to the right. Stay on the right-hand side, minimize the meters, hug the right-hand side, open up now, start heading to the outside curb. Again, you can see the rubbered line for the first part. What you'll notice here, it's a double apex corner, right? Especially for a double apex corner, you want to hit the apex, the inside first. Let's just increase that. So you want to hit the apex over here, and you want to hit the apex over here. What you ideally need to do is prioritize a slightly later apex for the second right-hander. That's just to open up the corner for the fast left, because now you got a hairpin. The moment you go too early for the first right, you'll be thrown off to the middle of the track or the left-hand side, and now your entry for fast left is messed up. So let's go back to your footage and see how you were tackling these corners. Where was the braking for this first left? Is it on feeling you're more doing it?
If you go back a bit, there's like this wall kind of thingy over there where that wall ends. That's where I brake.
Nice. So you're already aware. So if we look on the right side, we see the wall is ending there. Yep, just as it ends, now you're flicking the kart. So is it a tap of the brakes you're basically doing over here?
It's either a tap on the brakes or I just release the gas.
Yeah, I was going to say, because this looks quite high speed. Ideally, you'd want to keep the revs high. A lift would be ideal. What works better for you, brake or lift for this turn?
When I use the different carts, it's lift. When I'm using this one, it's brakes.
Is brakes. Okay, interesting. What I do recommend on this lap in isolation is delaying the turn in. Watch where we turn. We're turning in slightly early. And what you'll see is ever so slightly is the rubbered line, the dark black line is where my yellow line is. You see that? It's ever so slightly. The moment you go a bit too early over here, you'll reach the apex early. But from this point, now you're naturally going to be thrown off the line. You're going to head to the outside. And again, keep an eye on the dark rubbered line over here, which is generally going for a slightly later apex. What the dark line is doing is the apexing about here, as opposed to early. What happens when you apex slightly early? We cut across the rubbered line. This is the dark rubbered line. Bit of a correction on exit. Now you're back on the right. It's a very, very minor thing. What you can try next time, just like you're delaying the braking after the wall, delay the turn-in and use the curb on the right as your reference. So I would say bring that front right tire at least to the start of the curb. Let's call it a red and white curb, at least to the start of that. And then once you're about halfway, I would say even just after halfway, which is about here, start initiating a bit of a turn-in, right? Follow the rubbered in line. That's one advantage you've got. It's a very dark line. Have you experimented that before?
Wait, could you just repeat that again?
So what we're trying to do is take a later turn-in. Have you ever tried turning later for this corner? So almost towards the end of the curb on the right side.
I have tried turning later, but not that late. Okay.
What, as I said, the logic behind this is later we turn, the closer we can be to the rubbered line, the black line. This is the line that majority drivers take. So I mean, we're taking this lap in isolation. Here we're slightly off it. just delay the turn in ever so slightly. What that will do is allow you to take a later apex, and the later we can take the apex, the quicker it is to get to the next corner. We minimize the meters to the next part of the track. So boom. As opposed to coming out at the exit over here, by taking a later apex and a later turn in, you would probably be exiting the track slightly ahead over here because you're undercutting and then you're coming out slightly in front, yeah? Just by doing a later turn in. Coming on to the next sequence, so we got the fast right. You're staying on the rubbered line. It's a nice effort. First apex, second apex, into the hairpin. Cool. Let's roll it back. What I like over here is your entry. You're following the general line. You're looking towards the outside curb. You need to widen this corner up. Is there any braking for the first right that you're doing?
Yeah.
Bit of a break, right?
Yeah.
So basically, let's just listen out over here. Give me one sec. This bar is getting in the way. Window Explorer. Where is it? Window Explorer. There we go. Restart. Okay. It's gone now. Is this in full screen? That's in full screen. Okay, that's better. So, yeah, it's a very early brake. Just there. You've tapped the brakes just before the corner, slowing it down, then feeding the power back down. Smooth. You're trying to be smooth. Awesome. One thing I want you to experiment now is lifting for this corner. Lifting off the gas. Have you tried that for this double right?
No.
Okay. When you lift, when you change your technique from braking to lifting, you have to lift off the gas earlier. So I'd say start lifting about here. And there's a period where you're just coasting in the corner. So as you come off the accelerator now, 1, 2, 3. This is the coasting period. You want to coast. Now, the reason you want to coast is you're giving the kart and tires time to grip. So then, after you finish coasting, you can lay the power back down, right? And when you lay the power back down, the kart grips much easier. And not only that, you're able to take a bit more speed through these corners. What I would recommend, I see what you've done here. You've sort of skipped the first apex and you're getting closer to the second apex, which is acceptable. What you could do over here, continue doing the line as you're doing for the first turn. I don't mind you skipping the first apex, but try to be a bit tighter, especially for the second one. What you'll notice, do you see how it starts fading? It turns black, a little black over here on the curb.
Yeah. That's
because drivers have been going over it. This curb looks like one, especially if you ride it, you can get a nice boost, and it'll basically open up the corner. So the more you can ride over this curb, the better you're set up now for the fast left. So it's all about taking a corner in a way you can prepare for the next one better. So one thing you can try for next time, we're approaching the turn now, lift off the gas early, coast in the corner. Are you leaning your body? Have you tried leaning through these turns?
Yeah, I have.
You lean out, right?
Yeah, this one, my leaning is a bit messed up and I start leaning inwards.
Yeah, I can notice on the camera angle. You're more to the right. If you look at your head position, especially, I would recommend this is a typical lean out corner. Lift off the gas, coast, lean your body to the left. So you're trying to load the outside tires. Remember, these outside tires are the ones that we need to put grip on. Try and lift the inside rear tire over here. Lean out, lay the power back down. Skip the first apex, no problem, but get much tighter and ride the inside curb for the second apex. That's absolutely essential. And what you want to do is hug this curb. So stay on it. so you can open up your entry for the fast left. You see how there's a small gap over here? Yeah, this is a quarter gap. I'd rather your entry is wider and you use this space where your front right tire comes up all the way to the white line. Yeah?
Yeah.
Widen up this corner. Why do you think we should widen up this corner?
So we have more momentum, I think.
Yeah, more momentum, and it's easier to flick the kart now to the left for this fast hairpin, or this fast left-hander, you could say. I mean, when we look at it at the overhead shot, you can see it's a long left-hander. What we also want to do is get as close to the curb as possible. So we go back to your footage. You're turning the kart. It's sort of snapping mid-corner. There's a bit of correction there. But what we're doing in relation to the curb, you see this distance?
Yeah.
We're far away from it. So we want to be at least where the white line is. Reason you want to be at least where the white line is to reduce the meters. See, white line minimum, if not, get a bit onto the curb, you know, kiss the curb. So the first part of the curb, you can start getting onto that. Get nice and tight. Hug that all the way. So when you exit the corner, you can reduce the meters. You can go directly to the outside, as opposed to being far away from the curb. And now we have it all to play for like that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Head back out wide. Let's go to our overhead shot because now we're coming towards the end of the lap. Well, I'd say the end of sector 2, going on to sector 3. And this is the really interesting couple of corners. I mean, if you look at it overhead, it's always nice to look at the track from an overhead view. You know, these are unorthodox corners because it's a tight. What it is, it's a kink, so it turns left, and then it's an extreme sharp left hairpin into almost a long right, back into a fast right, and then you have, you know, the easier turns coming up. Are you struggling with this section of the track, these two corners?
I am.
Let's go ahead and watch first. Let's see how you tackled it on this lap in particular. Yep, through the first sequence into the second part. I think overall that's a very good effort through the final right. Yeah, that's a very, very good effort. You're very smooth through here. That's one thing I've noticed. Watch your steering wheel. There's minimal steering input. You're trying to use the full width of the track, getting up to the white line. You cut to the inside. You've taken a nice apex. Now you're trying to position the kart in the best possible way for the fast right. What's happened here is we've missed a bit of the curb, right? Or the apex. Try and get closer to the right there. Widen up, nice, using all of the track on exit, make the track as wide as possible. Follow the faded black line. You can see the black line here now, right?
Yeah.
That's a great reference for you. That's where all the grip is. That's where the ideal line is. Follow that. And you did a great job there. So starting off, I say it's a lot wider. Well, not even wider. It's especially in this kart, you have a lot more time to negotiate this. Especially in the two-stroke karts, the race karts, this sequence is very, very high speed, and it's quite physical as well on the body because it's a combination of fast left into a fast right. So you're widening up the first corner where you focus on your entry. So you're staying away from the inside over there. You're actually skipping the first curb in order to have a wider entry, which is acceptable. That's a good effort. And you've missed the early apex, you missed the middle apex, boom, late apex over here. Good effort. Have you tried this kind of line? I'm going to try and show it to you. Is where we go slightly tighter now. So we're almost in the middle of the track. And I'm not necessarily saying hit the apex on the left for the first part. I'm not saying go onto the curb, but at least halfway. Have you tried going a bit tighter on entry?
Yeah, I have gone a bit tighter and I have hit like both apexes.
Okay. Reason I'm saying go slightly tighter, 1 kart length to the left, is because the current karts you're driving are low horsepower. They don't have as much momentum, so reduce the meters. Yeah. I wouldn't say go all the way there because you're compromising yourself. You're going too tight. Stay in the middle. Yep. 1 kart length to the left. And then as you're doing, so you'll be 1 kart length to the left, then straight line to the outside edge because you need to widen up the next corner. What you don't want to do is continue going tight, and then it's a very sharp hairpin coming up, yeah? You need to head back to the outside. Reduce the meters for the first part, head back out wide to the second part. Where's the braking for this? Or reference for braking?
The braking, it's at the beginning of the curb on the right.
Okay.
Wait, I don't curb in the middle of this corner.
Mm-hmm.
I brake at the beginning of the first apex.
Okay.
And then here, it's me doing gradual acceleration.
Very good. And I can tell you're smooth because watch your steering wheel, neutral steer. You've hit a relatively late apex there, which is nice. So continue doing that. I think that you're on a good path over there. Only thing to change, tighten it up ever so slightly. Get a bit closer to the left. See, if this was a race scenario, let's say there's somebody behind you, they'll just go down the inside. They'll pass you, right? That's because they've taken the shorter route. They've taken the shorter distance. That's how you got to think of it. Go slightly tighter. Widen it up. Continue braking nice and early. Get rotation onto the kart. Continue doing that apex. Now it's all about placement of the kart. What I like is you're in the middle of the track. So you're well set up to take the next corner. The only thing you need to change for the next corner now is how close we're getting to the apex. What do you notice over here?
That there's a bit of a gap.
Yeah, that's it. Whenever you see a bit of a gap, you know there's lap time to be won. So 2 ways to get around this. Either be more aggressive on your steering input, right? So you're a bit more aggressive on entry. You see how you're very smooth, which is fine. Just be a bit more aggressive initially and then wind the steering wheel back to the middle. Make sure you get at least to the white line, if not kiss the inside curb. Or lean your body more. Aggressive steering, lean out. Are you leaning over here in this corner?
Here I'm leaning in. As I said before, the leaning very messed up in this run.
What I recommend, just like we discussed for that double right, for this corner, lean out. Yeah. Load the outside tires with as much grip as possible. Push against the steering wheel. We were discussing the push-pull technique over here. Your outside hand over here should be pushing against that steering wheel. Push it down. Get as much rotation as possible. Is flat out, I assume, right? For this right hand corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I wouldn't expect you to brake. So all you got to do is use your body weight now to help you with turning rotation. Get close. What you can do is then come off the curb somewhere there. When you can come off the curb there or even slightly later, the distance to the outside edge reduces, right? All about taking the shortest path possible. I love what you're doing over here. You're using all of the curb available. This is actually very underrated. Continue doing that. Don't limit yourself. As long as 2 wheels are on the road, on the track, you're not going to get penalized. Good effort through the right. This is absolutely flat out. This is all about keeping your wheel as straight as possible, building up that momentum. Yeah. Coming to the final part of the track. So, final part of the track is not as challenging as the previous corners. We got the double left into a long back straight, good chance to overtake, into a fast left hand, I'd say hairpin, you could say. This is into the fast right. So this is pretty much a chicane. It's a left right. We'll get to that. Talk to me about these 2 corners we're coming up to. Are you okay with them? Are you struggling with anything in particular?
No, I'm It's pretty easy, that corner. I take them
Yeah.
off flat out.
Excellent. Yep, flat through the first, flat through the second. Nice. Just on that lap in particular, what I would recommend is similar to, let's go back to these corners, the double right we got. See how we skipped the first apex to prioritize the second apex, and we said we get as close as possible to the second apex. That's in order to get the best possible exit speed. The same thing over here. I don't mind if you skip the first apex slightly, right? Pretty much up to the white line. But what you want to do is be a lot closer to the second apex over here, yeah? Make sure we're getting right up to the white line. Reduce those meters. And it's as simple as bringing it back to the first left. What I think you can do is follow the dark black line and turn a bit later, right? What's happened, we've turned in early now. We're turning, and we're ending up mid-corner. If you delay your turn-in to about halfway down the curb on the right side or towards the end of the curb, you can get a smoother run through here. Have you tried later turning for this fast left?
I have, yeah.
How did that work out for you?
It was better.
It was, right? Try to prioritize that. Try to go for a later turn into the left. Yeah. And as we mentioned, get as close to the second apex as possible. So essentially, get close over here, and we try to hit the curb, reduce the meters to the next corner. Control Z. Final two corners coming up now. Let's just watch how you do over here. And yep, wow, this is a very rubbered in part of the track. That's a good effort. That's a good effort over there. I think in this case, you know, going back to the beginning, you were saying this kart wasn't turning, right? A lot. It was understeering.
Yeah, no, it was understeering.
I can tell because you're trying to do certain lines, but the kart isn't turning there. So, you know, I think if you have a better kart which handles better, you can easily implement these things we're saying in terms of getting closer to the apex, you know, getting onto the curbs.
Yeah, I found a different kart that's way better in handling. It has around the same speed.
Excellent. So we're just going through the chicane now, the final two corners. And these are long corners, and I can see there you're right on the limit of grip. So actually, you're trying to go flat, the rear end steps out, and you just about save the kart. Talk to me about the braking for this first corner, first left.
I brake midway through that really like black part on the road.
Yeah, so that's consistent, right? It's quite rubbered in. Yeah, over here, this thing.
Yeah.
So it starts about here, so you're braking, boom, just about here, let's say. Midway through. Are you hard on the brakes? I mean, what are you doing? Trail braking? Threshold braking?
Threshold braking.
Excellent, excellent. So you're trying to be hard on the brakes for a short period, get the kart to rotate. And yeah, I mean, this could be kart dependent, but what we want to do is just be closer to the apex on the left side. So the reason you need to be closer to the left-hand side is to open up the angle of the final corner. The wider you can take the entry to the final corner, the easier it is going to be. What happens here is we end up in, I wouldn't say the middle of the track, but you know, we're away definitely from the outside. So we're 3/4 away from the inside edge. And as you try to initiate the turn in and you take it flat out, we sort of missed the first apex, and then the kart steps out on us, and then we try and correct it. So there's a few tenths which have been lost just like that. So easy correction, bring it back to the braking over here. I would even say go for a slightly later turn in again. The later you take a turn in, the later you're going to apex at the corner, right? So go deep into the corner, sharp, late turning. The later you turn, the easier it is to come to the left-hand side of the track and get close to the white line, if not even near that curb. You can probably see a faded mark there. People have ran over that on the left-hand side. Then stay on the left-hand side. Open up the corner. You see where the marshal is? Go towards that. Especially go towards the white line. Widen it up as much as possible. The moment you can widen it up, you can even see the black line over here, the rubbered in black line. It starts from the left-hand side, yeah? So use the white line as a reference, as wide as possible. You could even go for a slightly earlier turn-in, flick the kart to the right, make sure you get an apex, and then it's about minimizing the meters. Take it as short line as possible there. Basically, the final straight is all about placement of the kart. Keep it, to the left-hand side. I like how you're doing that. Minimize it. Head down, human DRS. And that should easily be, I'd say, 1 minute 22 or 1 minute 21, just by those few tweaks. You can definitely aim for that. What's your feedback?
Feedback is that
after we review this, what are your thoughts?
The tips you've given me, I've tried a few of them. They really help. So I'm assuming the other tips you've given me will also improve my lap time a lot.
Yeah, it's about trying new things out. And the good thing is you've got your GoPro. So you can review after every session. And when you do analysis, look for things like braking, how much you're turning in the corner. More importantly, how close am I going to the apex? Is there distance between that? Generally, you want to be as close to the white lines or on the curb as possible. We're trying to use as much of the track as possible. Same thing goes for corner entry. Try to be as wide as possible. Yep, widen up the turn so you're able to take the corner earlier. Small things like that. When's the next time you're going to the track?
Hopefully this Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, excellent. So try to get some more footage and try a different kart, more importantly.
Yeah.
And let me know how it goes. I'll be fascinated to see if you can get a faster time, because I'm sure the pace is there.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Kallias. Let us know how it goes. Let's hopefully catch up in the next session then.
Okay. Yeah, I have school tomorrow, so I have to sleep right now.
Go for it. I don't want to hold you anymore.
Okay. See you next week.
No worries. Take care. Take care. All right then. We're going to move on to Salman. Just before we go to Salman, anyone have any questions? Anything to add? Awesome. Looks like we can get started. Salman, can you hear us?
Yes.
Awesome. How have you been?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Excellent. So Salman, when do you go karting? Is it every week that you go, or?
No, not every week, but every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, okay. I was going to say, especially in Muscat, they've got some competitions, and they have it for junior and senior. So regardless of your age, there'll be some kind of event. Have you tried any competitions before?
No.
Okay, that can be your next step. If you're really serious. Reason is, it's a good bit of fun, right? This time you're fighting for position, not best lap time. And there'll be other drivers your age as well. And it's a good chance to test your skills and learn new skills as well.
Yes.
What I'm going to do is probably look for a lap. Just give me one moment. I'll start speed. Because this is a track where they don't normally allow GoPro, actually. They don't allow you to record. And even when I went, I think we had to put it on the cart. So the issue is, yeah, there's not much footage. I had a very nice one actually, which I'm gonna try and find for you. Just give me one moment. What was the name of the guy's channel? I think it was something like Natural Born Carters or something like that. It was a very good drive actually. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Here we go. That's him. Let's try and share my screen. Boom. Wait for the
now they changed the track.
Did they change it? So, you know when they changed it, do you go straight over here?
Yeah.
You go straight over here, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Whoa, this guy had reverse. Okay. Reverse. He's got very nice videos, actually. Let's see if this one is... Oops. I remember when I did an endurance race there, it was a 3-hour race. I also did that same layout. The problem is that footage is not very good. No. The footage I had is not very good of reverse. The angle, the camera angle was not good. Let's see. Oh, I think, wait, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, this is the layout, right?
Yeah.
Coming up the hill, I remember this. Into the fast right. Now you have the 2 U-turn, right? Coming up the hairpins. First one, second one. And what about here? This is the same? Is it like that? It turns to the right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. So you have basically got the difficult layout. Well, I'd say no. It's not bad. It's not bad. This is the long straight into the final corner. Bam. Yeah, one of the most fun tracks, I have to say, especially in Middle East. This is a very good footage you're seeing. Callum Mitchell, he's a very good driver. This is a SWS race. So this is a competition. He started on pole position, and he's basically won the race, actually. So all these laps you're seeing from him now are, to keep him in first position, and he's opening up a gap. What I want to do is skip to about halfway, and I believe this was one of his best laps over here. So just to go through the lap, actually, what you'll notice, turn 1, it goes downhill a lot, right? There's a change in elevation.
Yeah.
Turn 1, are you braking for this corner? What's how is it with the new karts?
No braking. Just fully speed, lean out.
Yeah.
Like that.
Excellent. What about the curb on the outside? Are you using any of this? Maybe 2 wheels or something like that?
Little bit. My left wheels.
Your left wheels, yeah, excellent. So I always say try to get over this 2 wheels over the left. It's good that you're leaning out. This is 100% a lean out corner. And then you're trying to get to the inside curb, right? What are you doing over here?
Actually, I'm not touching the...
You're not touching the inside?
But,
okay.
Yeah, but too close, yeah.
Maybe up to the white line, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's important you carry the momentum because it's flat. And if you do touch the curb over here, it can unsettle the cart. You just want to keep the revs high, keep the cart flowing. Downhill, you can see actually on this camera angle, it's quite aggressive, the elevation. It goes down to the bottom over here, and now we go back uphill. Talk to me about the braking for this corner. What are you sort of using for reference? Is it on feeling, or you're braking somewhere?
Actually, here I'm not braking. Just take my slow down, then goes up, then I start.
Okay, so are you lifting off the gas for this corner?
Yes.
Right, interesting. I mean, I know the carts have changed. This is the Saudi carts that we're watching. Maybe the Birella slightly slower. What about the curb on the left? Are you using any of this?
Yes.
Using a bit of the curb. Yeah. No, that's good. You want to widen this corner up as much as possible. What I recommend though, do you find yourself sliding in this corner or drifting a little? What do you feel?
Shaking like that, jumping. I don't know.
He jumps a bit. Cool. What I would try, it's always good to experiment some things. Tap of the brakes, just a little bit of brake. And you want to do that nice and early, just as the curb starts on the left-hand side. Reason you want to do that is just so the tires won't scrub. The shaking comes because sometimes you carry too much speed. What you want to do, brake early, sacrifice a bit of time, then slowly get onto the accelerator. Now feed the power. And as the driver is doing over here, get close to the inside for the first right and get close to the inside for the second right. So up to the white line. Amazing. Come back to the middle of the, oops, that's a bit too much. That's not the middle. Come to the middle of the track. There's no need to go all the way here because now we have a hairpin coming up. We have the first U-turn. So we want to prepare for that. And from the middle, now you want to start going to the right. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, in terms of braking, I'm sure you brake here now.
Yeah, a little brake.
Okay. Is it on feeling or are you braking somewhere specific?
No, يعني.
On feeling, right?
Yeah, on feeling.
Yeah. Well, it's a double hairpin corner. And what you want to do is brake for the... Yeah. You want to brake for the first corner, but the second corner, because you're still building up speed, this should be pretty much flat, maybe a lift sometimes.
Yeah.
What you need to do though is use the outside curb over here. I would recommend make the track as wide as possible.
Okay.
And as the curb ends, you could maybe start applying a bit of brake over here as it ends. So what that happens, you're nice and wide, you brake, and you need to aim for a slightly later apex. I would say mid to late. So you see all of this curb at the inside. Are you hitting this now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Up to the white line. If not, kiss the curb. It's faded black mark.
Yeah.
And then what are you doing on the exit? Are you going right, left, middle?
Here's my problem. I don't know where to go, so I go at the middle.
You go in the middle. Cool. Middle is good. Let's bring up the track map actually for you. Yeah, there we go. So this is the really lovely track. This is how it basically looks. And this is, again, a typical double hairpin corner that we got, right? So what we want to do is, for the first corner, brake a little. And then now, as we get onto the gas, we go for a mid to late apex. And on the exit, stay in the middle or on the left-hand side. So mid to late apex, stay on the left-hand side. One more time. Let's just draw that out smoothly. When you stay on the left-hand side now, the corner becomes wider for you and you can easily cut to the inside.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do is do what the blue line is, where he goes, where he goes too much to the right, and now this corner's too tight, and he goes off wide, yeah, off the track. Don't want to go too early.
Yeah.
Stay on the left-hand side of the track. Sometimes, when you gain more confidence, you can even go to the middle of the track, like the driver did in this video. So let's put this in full screen. So what we're doing over here, mid to late apex, I'd still say hit a late apex. Stay on the left-hand side of the track.
Yeah.
Just over here. Now, you can open up the corner. And from the left-hand side of the track, cut to the right, easy, flat, no need to brake, no need to lift. Widen up the corner. The wider you can take this corner, the easier it is to take it flat out. Are you braking or lifting over here?
A little bit.
Little bit, okay. I would say try going all the way to the left where this barrier is, and try to keep your foot on the accelerator. Lean out. You have to lean out for this corner. More importantly, as you lean out, make sure you're getting close to the curb. Yeah, you have to get close over here.
Yeah.
And on the exit, use the curb over there. You know, even 2 wheels on this, no problem. Yeah. Use the outside curb over here. Then, as you put 2 wheels on the curb, stay on the left-hand side now, because we got a fast right-hand corner coming up. If we go to our map again, you can see if you stay on the left, you can prepare for the fast right, which is what we do over here. The moment we go from outside to middle, now we got to go back to the outside, and then we got to go. You see, it's like a zigzag we done from left then to right. Yeah. Stay in a straight line. Stay in a straight line. Hug the left. Stay on the left. Open up the corner. Make it as smooth as possible. Turn. Yeah. So watch what this driver does. He stays on the left. He hugs the left. Look at that. He's right on the curb. He's right on the curb. And you can see on the track, there's some black line over here, right?
Yeah.
What you want to do, put a lot of the kart over here. Yeah, at least 2 wheels on this blue part. Where are you braking for this corner?
Here.
Early brake,
Little
right?
bit early. Yeah.
Nice. Basically, as this curb ends, so the curb has ended over here, finishes now, and now the blue starts. Good time to start braking. Brake nice and early, but stay wide. Stay nice and wide on this side. Sharp, late turning. And go for, I would say, a mid to late apex. Get to the inside over here, yeah? Are you hitting this curb?
Okay. The white line.
White line, okay. I'd say try and kiss the curb. Use a bit of it over there. Yeah, it can help you a little. On exit, yeah, nice and wide over here. What we want to do is carry the momentum. So from the outside, kiss the inside, and now reduce the meters. What you don't want to do is go to the inside and then stay right and go around this. No, because the guy on the yellow, he'll do the same entry, but because he goes wider, he can undercut you. And boom, it's over here. You can see the 2 lines, yeah? The yellow line, it's less meters. Uses less of the road. So that's what we want to try and do. So just going back.
So I use the yellow line?
Yeah, you want to be the yellow line, which is At the corner, now look over here. You should be looking at the tire on the left side. When you look to the left, you'll go closer to that and stay up to the white line. This is very, very nice. What you don't want to do, don't go over here. Don't go wide. Yeah?
Okay.
Don't waste the meters. Stay to the left.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time. As the curb starts going, you should be looking in a straight line over here. The reason you want to look in a straight line is to open up the corner. So we said when you're here, it should be a straight line. Yeah? We need to be as wide as possible for the entry for this corner. The reason why this corner is so important, we have a long straight, yeah? So the exit you have here is very important. Second to last corner. I would prefer slow in, fast out over here. So we come early. Where are you braking here?
Early braking, actually.
Late braking.
But not that. يعني no, not late break. يعني medium.
Okay. Yeah. So in the middle, basically. You see how we should go wide? We should go at least to the white line over here. Sometimes you can even use a bit of the curb. Yeah. But I would say slow in, fast out. So now you get your braking done, finish, go for the apex. Sometimes you can go right up to the curb. Use this over here. And well, the most important part is on the exit now. You see this on the right? You should be using this curb. Now, there's a trick over here. I don't know how much of this curb you use. Do you touch this one?
No.
Okay. So it's a small trick, right? But you have to get it right. The front right tire has to go up smoothly on the curb. It'll jump a little over here. But you can do it. And you stay on the curb, right? So when your front right tire jumps, now you stay on the curb. You see how the curb continues. And now the curb ends. So you stay on the right-hand side all the way. Stay on the curb all the way to here. And this trick will help you. It gives you a boost, actually, when you jump on it. But it's about being accurate. So as you take a left-hand turn, now turn right, look right. Front right tire jumps on this one. Boom. Directly in a straight line. And it's very nice. This curb is flat. It's nice and flat. There's space to ride on it. And because you ride on it, you're taking less meters and it's boosting you along the straight. That's one trick I learned at this track. Straight line all the way, head down, human DRS. You got a long straight, good chance to overtake. Final corner. Final corner is one of the most enjoyable ones. So how are you braking for this corner? It's high speed. Are you looking anywhere over here?
On the after the white line. Can you see the white line?
Over here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, I'm trying to think now. Let's bring up an updated version. Give me one sec. I have some footage. Let's see if I can find it.
Okay.
So it was. Which one was it? Braking? How to brake? No, I can't find it. Anyway, let's go back to the share screen. So we're coming up to the corner. Is there any marking on the road or like a red line or something?
White line.
White line. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Because I'm sure they added that. This is an old video. That's why.
Yeah.
Basically, the white line. Exactly where is it? If we just watch it one more time, because I want to try and draw it. Is it where the yellow and blue starts, or just after?
Yeah. Let's see.
I think it's about here, right? Normally, it comes across like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time to start braking. That's a good reference. I would start braking just after it, but more importantly, you want to use
Yeah, me
the
too.
curb over here. Make it as wide as possible. Just brake after it. Be hard on the brakes.
Okay.
Slow and fast out again. It's all about braking early, then now accelerating in the corner. Go for a typical late apex. So it should be about here. Late apex, so you can get the best possible exit speed. You've hit the apex now. Boost out onto the straight. Use up the track on exit as well. 2 wheels over here, yeah, on the curb.
Yeah.
Make sure you're carrying as much speed as possible all the way up to the line. And that should be a quick lap at the track. So I think 2 things for you. If we just rewind, you got a good level at the track. What you need to focus on is the hairpins. So first hairpin, nice and wide. Oops. Take it nice and wide. Cut inside late apex. Stay on the left. Stay on the left. Stay on the left. Stay left. Stay left. Stay left. Open up the corner. So now you can go from the outside, cut to the inside. Yeah, all the way like that. Lean your body out. Keep your foot on the gas. Full. Close to the apex at the inside.
Okay.
And on exit, boom. Make sure you got 2 wheels over the outside. Now, stay on the left. Stay on the left. Stay on the left. Open up the corner. Continue braking early. Nice and early brake. Back on the gas.
Yeah.
Look at the outside over here. Look at the outside part. So the wider you can go over here. Stay on the left, stay on the left, stay on the left. As this curb starts, look in a straight line. Go back out to the outside of the track again.
Yeah.
Back out wide to the outside. Early brake again. Slow in. Fast out. Back on the accelerator. Get close to the curb at the inside. More importantly,
do I use here a brake or trail brake?
Here I would
Threshold
say
brake?
threshold brake, yeah, because you want to be on the gas early. It's a hard brake, hard but early brake. Rotate the cart, back on the gas. Get on the gas over here. Gas. Hit the inside curb. Then look at the cone on the right. This is where you want to do the trick. Where you stay right. And this curb is nice and flat. Boost the cart. Front right tire over it. Stay on the curb. Stay on the curb. Stay on the curb. Now come off. Straight line to the end. And then just as you're doing, we're approaching the final corner at high speed. There should be a white line somewhere here. Just after the white line, hit the brakes. Make sure you widen up the corner as much as possible. And then a late apex.
Hard brake do I use?
Yeah. Here, I would say it's more a trail brake. So you must trail brake over here. But release the brake before the corner.
Yeah.
Not too deep in the corner. Get back on the gas early and out of the turn. And that should be a quick lap.
Yeah. But
Any other questions?
my car is sliding a little bit.
In the final corner?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means you need to brake more. So don't go too fast. When you slide, it means there's too much. There's less grip on the tires and there's too much speed. So you've got to just slow it down nice and early. Brake earlier even, that can help. But what is your best time so far?
56.2.
Excellent, 56.2. I think you can do 56.0 or 55.9 is possible with these small improvements.
Yeah.
Let me know how it goes. When are you going to the track next? When will you drive?
I guess at 10 June.
Okay, next week.
After 1 week.
Yeah, inshallah. Well, let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
I hope you can. Do you have a camera like a GoPro or something?
No.
But they also don't allow, right, at the track. That's the other thing. Let me know how it goes for lap time. Try and implement these tips that we discussed, and I think 56.0 or 55.9 is possible. I think you got it.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, Salman.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining. We're going to move on to the next driver now, yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. All right, guys. So we've got a couple more drivers to finish off with. Saad and Austin, who wants to go first? Who's limited for time? That's what.
I have dinner in an hour or so.
Okay. And Saad?
I got the time. It's just I'm really sleepy.
I was gonna say it's quite late for you, right?
It is. It is 12
You can go
a.m.
first.
right now.
Yeah, it's 12:10. Sorry, Saad. I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
No, it's all right. No, for me, it's just like a quick review because I haven't
Let's do it.
driven on this track.
Yeah.
So I've sent the link on the latest message for the track help session.
Awesome. Let's just try and get that up. And we had Mazen.
Yeah.
Is that yours?
Yep. The video is not mine.
Okay. I was gonna say, yeah. Let's just share the screen real quick. So, how often are you driving at Karting Town?
I'd say every week maybe, or every 2 weeks, because it is in Sharjah, so it's like 2 hours away.
Okay, you live outside.
Yeah, I live in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, okay. So have you tried Yes?
Yeah, I go there every Monday for SWS. It's just
Yeah,
the
awesome.
carts are too fast for the track because it's too small.
Really?
So, yeah, because they're 390cc carts, and apparently no one likes them because I've asked
Okay.
around. So.
Yeah. That's the first time I've heard someone say the carts are too fast for the track. That's a good problem to have. So, in Karting Town, have you tried any SWS?
Yeah, I won the last one, which was on 24th of May.
Awesome. You must know a few of the drivers. You in the Mirpag racing team.
Yeah, I know them and a couple other people.
That's awesome. Awesome. So it's I'm just trying to bring up Hamadi, right?
Yeah.
And Humaid.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are the I met them in the MENA Championship in Qatar in December. They came. A few other guys on Team UAE as well. Have you done any of the two-stroke racing?
No, I haven't.
You've just done rental carts.
Yeah, just rental carts.
Yeah, you have some very, very nice tracks and carts for that in UAE, I have to say. You've done Kartdrome?
No.
Really? You haven't done Dubai Kartdrome?
No, because I've seen onboards for SWS, and it's just a war zone, and everyone's just pushing each other and bumping into each other. So
yeah.
Maybe if I get a rib protector, sure.
That's one of the most famous tracks. I did lots of SWS there, actually. But the ones I need to try now is Abu Dhabi and so the Yas and Karting Town. And I think Karting Town is the latest track, right? With new karts and everything. Awesome. So this footage we're basically watching is the latest, or is it the layout you're going to be doing?
Yeah, for SWS on Friday.
And this is the first time you're trying this layout?
Yeah, I've never driven this before.
It looks like, is that a race instructor in front, or
I think that's just
a regular driver, maybe?
Yeah, or like a teammate or something like that.
I was gonna say. So we reviewed this with Adham actually a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm just familiarizing myself because
that was the arrive and drive one. That's the other clip I sent like a week ago.
Gotcha.
But they changed the layout for this week.
What are the main differences? Because now we're on the main straight start. This is the start of a lap, right?
This is normal. There's going to be a double hairpin right here.
Oh, okay, double hairpin. Sorry, this is.
And then it's going to be a right-hander. Right? No. There's a right-hander here, and then on this layout, it's extended. Because at the end of, I'll show you right now. So right about somewhere here, there's a hairpin.
Yep.
But they've closed that off right there. And
yeah, just over there.
Extended it to another one right there.
Okay, excellent.
So this goes into a left, and then I think there's another left. There's like a double hairpin kind of.
Right yep.
And then the last straight, and then I think that's a lap.
Yeah. I'm sure this is some kind of race instructor because he's giving him signals.
No, a lot of people do that. There are a lot of onboards and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're just learning lines and stuff.
Amazing.
So the main difference is the first turn, the big turn is cut in half, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's just a big right-hander instead of a braking zone.
Let's just look at an overhead. Get ourselves familiar with this. It's a very, very... So this is next to a golf club.
Yeah, golf and shooting club.
Ah, okay, excellent. There's no balls which come flying onto the track. No. We have... Yeah, I'm just trying to familiarize. So this is the main straight. So do we have the typical hairpin, or it's a fast right?
It's a fast right.
Into a left and then a hairpin.
Are you talking about this layout or
this layout?
This layout is into a right-hander, and then I'd say like a kind of like a hairpin, and then it's the normal straight followed by an S-bend, double hairpin.
Cool. Just guide me. So main straight, fast right. Yeah,
and then hairpin.
Here or here?
Are you sharing something?
Yeah. You know.
I can't see it.
Sorry. I was wondering. Let's just share the entire screen. Yeah. This is what I was talking about. Because you've got the golf course right there. Okay. Main straight into the fast right over here.
Yeah, so it goes right from there, so that part's cut off. And then just give me 1 second because it's a bit confusing looking at it from here.
There's lots of layouts.
Yeah. So there's a hairpin somewhere here.
Let's match up with the
for sure
screen. Yep, fast right. Oh, that is confusing, yeah.
And the camera is pointed downwards, so...
Yeah. He's cutting across this part. Okay, it looks like... Oh. Which one is that? I know where he is. So he's doing this, and then he cuts to the right, and he cuts across that. That's what it is. Then is it into the hairpin, or is it long straight?
It's a long straight.
Really? So you go all the way here, yeah?
Yeah, and then it's the usual double hairpin.
Oops. So usual double hairpin, yeah, all the way down here.
Yeah.
And then into?
And then it goes to that right-hander, so it just keeps going straight.
Sorry. Yep.
And then
double
keeps
hairpin.
Going, and then no, not that hairpin. It's extended.
Wow. So
all
here,
the way to it's I think this one.
Yep. Yeah, into these.
into that corner, and then straight.
Okay. Looking at it, you look like you've got an easier layout.
Yeah.
Less corners, the
Because
typical
the
hairpin.
first one's it was very hard to get.
The first one will definitely go over, see what they were doing there. You're familiar with pretty much the rest of the track.
Yeah.
Double hairpin there. They've even cut this hairpin out, so that's just straight line, the final corner. In terms of it being an SWS race, you really want to have a fast kart, number one, because if you get bogged down on the straights, it's difficult. Do you normally work together with someone, or you push each other?
Well, I try to, but it never works out.
It never works out. Yeah. That's what it is. Let's see what these guys do. So, got the first corner coming up. He's using all of the track. Cuts the inside, then stays nice and wide. Awesome. Yeah. What they're basically doing here is they're sacrificing a bit of time under braking and then being flat for the remainder of the corners. It's quite an early
you have
brake.
to brake over there?
I just heard by the revs, and if you even look at kart number 1, the onboard, yeah, tiny brake, tiny.
Yeah, they braked. But is this turn?
Oh no, this one is flat. Yeah, okay. So that's flat. Keep going flat over here. Flat. Well, you'll notice this guy went slightly tight at the first, right?
Yeah.
And then open up the corner. This is where you start braking. So you can see number 1, he's put his foot on the gas already, on the brake already. You can say give or take just before this curb or on the curb. That is basically just for rotation of the car.
Yeah.
And you'll notice you're back on gas immediately. You have to then keep the momentum up. He's on gas.
Just like a stab at the brakes for rotation.
Yeah, that's it. And make sure you're doing it when you're in a relative straight line, because it's a long right, and boom, it's here where you're technically.
So between both of these rumbles.
Between, if not just as it starts. If you're going quite late, I'd prefer you go early on the brakes, stab it, bit of rotation, feed the power now. It's interesting. They're getting tight to the first part, cut across that, and go all the way up to the tires over here. I guess that's the track limits, right?
Yeah.
So just, use up all of the track. Stay in the slipstream. It looks like...
I've done this corner at a different layout, the KT National one.
Yeah.
So it's basically like it's threshold braking mixed with trail braking is just to kind of slide the car into the corner.
Yeah.
It's not really braking all the way or hard.
It looks like there's not that long straight we were anticipating, because you come out the fast right and then it's immediately a hairpin. Yeah, they're not going straight down over here.
No, I think it's after that hairpin and then it goes straight.
Yeah, correct.
So like that bend over there.
You've still got this sequence to do, right? This hairpin into that, I reckon. Let's just watch that, because that's first hairpin. Yeah, drive in front gains quite a bit. Second hairpin using up all the track. Awesome. Interesting lines over here. What you'll see is drive in front is, I'd say, later on the brakes. It looks like, because what happens initially, they're bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
He's late on the brakes, or this guy number 1 is early on the brakes. The gap opens up.
And this guy goes wide as well.
Yeah, he goes wide. What you'll see though, on exit, they regain. Car 1 actually is slightly closer than he was on the entry of the first hairpin there. They both use all of the track. This is quite important. I don't know how strict they are with track limits in SWS.
Not at this track, not really.
Okay, so you can push it all the way, I guess, to the tires, right? Because this is completely, 4 wheels off. So, if that's legal, take advantage of it. Again, this guy goes quite early. You can see he's already stabbing the brakes. This drive in front is a bit more aggressive. He'll lose it mid-corner because driver behind gets back on his bumper.
Yeah, because I noticed that the driver, like the POV is on the line closer to the curb as well.
Yeah.
While the other one goes wider.
You'll see there. So he's just away, and he's on. These small differences make a big.
So I
net
grab
difference.
a mid apex over there, right?
I would say here. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's going for a mid. Yeah, mid to late. You definitely want to go slightly late, just because it's a long straight coming up, and the later you can turn over here, the better acceleration you can get out the corner. So even if that means slightly delaying the turn in on entry over here, just so you skip this part and then hit a mid to late apex, boost out of the corner. Yeah, you should be good.
All right, and then that's the normal.
This is about placement of the kart. Take the shortest distance possible between these two.
So here, I've seen people do this, and I've tried to do it. Is that curb that's like right behind?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
On the right, I've seen people have like, I'd say their bumper. I'm not sure about their tires.
Yeah.
For a bit of rotation.
Yeah. Similar to what we were discussing with Salman. In Muscat, they have a similar corner like this where actually if you ride the front right tire, it boosts you. I don't know if you've tried it though for this turn.
This turn, no.
It'll be worth experimenting because it looks easy to get onto, like it's flat and then it ascends. And if you're able to get a tire onto that.
But wouldn't I go wider if I tried to do that?
You actually would reduce the meters, yeah? Because from here, now you're cutting to the right. So you're taking, half of the track there.
Oh.
The thing is, it's about experimenting because it could be slower that once you hit this curb and you go on it, that puts a dip in momentum, or it's the opposite where it boosts the kart in terms of reps. That's what happens. The idea of riding onto it is normally it does boost the kart, boost the engine. The revs go higher the moment you jump on that. It's just worth testing out.
What if I went onto the curb from the side rather than from the start of it?
From the side, that normally lowers your momentum. That's what we found, especially on straights. It sort of hooks the kart. So this part of the curb, it sticks the wheel. It gets quite sticky, and I don't know. It's worth experimenting. I personally think it'll slow you down on the straight.
All right.
You can see this drive in front goes right up to it. I don't know if he's touching it or not. Maybe a kiss, it could be. But ultimately, I don't know about the weight and things like that. Kart behind who doesn't touch it at all, is on his bumper.
Yeah.
We don't really see a net gain. Now that's obviously that can be due to driver's weight and things. Try it out.
SWS doesn't really have seatbelts because they removed them.
They removed them. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're free to move around a little in the seat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Coming on to the next set of double hairpins. Again, you'll see
this one's a very tricky one because if you brake too much or you brake too early, you lose a lot of time.
We got a nice comparison over here of early brake versus late brake. The guy in front brakes way later. You'll see here. So drive in front brakes, well before the curb. You can see this good 2.5 kart lengths. The drive in front under braking, he pulls the gap of a kart's length. He gets onto the curb actually, or the rumble strip, and he's initiating a slightly sharp late turn in. So he's overshooting. And what that allows him to do is skip the early apex, skip the middle apex. He hasn't gone quite close, but he's gone for relatively late apex. That's what I see. But that gap, sort of, I'm just trying to figure out what the POV driver is doing. POV driver does.
He brakes a little before the kink, if you can.
That's it.
You notice it on the ground?
That's it.
Where the paint goes to the left?
Look at that, right there.
Yeah. So he brakes before that, and the driver brakes on it.
Exactly. Boom. He's braking there.
There you go.
So although under braking, the gap opens, actually on exit, the gap closes down. Boom. But overall, look at the placement of the kart. This guy's kept it in the middle, whereas POV driver is going a bit more to the right, trying to open up the corner, which makes sense. The moment he opens up the corner, goes right, then back to left, he loses it. Boom. Just like that. And it's a simple thing about kart placement, because they both apex at similar places. The guy in front leaves it out to the left more and naturally keeps the car in the middle. Whereas the guy over here goes left and he does a zigzag. He goes left, then comes back out right, then goes to the left.
Yeah.
You get that zigzag. So try and avoid that. And if you can keep it as neutral as possible in the middle, then flick it to the left, get a bit onto the curb. You can see he's just kissing that curb there, the driver in front. Use all of the track on exit, and you should maintain that gap.
So I've tried to take a late apex on that curb to exit, but it really messes my speed up.
Yeah,
the big right-hander.
For this one, the second one, doing it. Yeah, what you'll notice for this case, he goes for mid, early to mid. He's going quite early in the corner. You can see, and actually, where the late apex is over here, he's gone off the track already. He's ignoring that part of the track. So, do what works best for you. Mid apex, use all of the track. How strict are they with limits over here?
I mean, you could go to the other green line, but like not all the way.
Right. Because if they're not that strict, you can really gain time just by getting over the paint or over the white line, especially. Because that's just making the track wider. I would do it. If they're not penalizing, I'd do it. Coming up to the back end now. This is the fast right. And it'll stay a fast right because you don't have the double hairpins.
Yeah.
Wow, that's going to be really kart dependent, this. Because if you have a slow kart, you're going to be messed up over here. If you have a fast kart, you can gain. In terms of the entry, not too wide, maybe up to the rumble. Main thing is to chuck the kart in. You really have to
noticed that the driver, like the POV driver, turned in earlier than the other driver.
Great spot, yeah.
Which kind of pushes him out wide.
That's it.
And the other driver's just like sort of closer to the left, but in the middle without any.
Yeah. And you'll see the difference there. If we try and draw a straight line, that's his rear tire. So this gap over here means he's gone early. Earlier you go, the earlier you're going to get thrown out on the apex. So you'll hit the apex, and now you're going to be chucked out wide. To be fair, he gained a tiny bit. I don't know what happened, because I believe he backed off. Because if that's a friend or a race instructor, he's just trying to let this guy catch up, because that was a big lift almost. Because the gap, two kart lengths, and then suddenly mid-corner.
I noticed that as well when I was watching the thing.
He's backed off. I think he's definitely backed off here, because you don't have that big drop in speed. Try and replicate the line the guy in front was taking. Now, final couple of corners.
So this corner right here with the line right there, the red one. So for SWS, like the normal layouts I've driven on, I'd brake right after it or on it. Right after it's better. But here, since it's followed by straight, would I have to brake earlier or later? Since
good question. You definitely have to brake earlier, because we experience a similar thing at our track when we have two different layouts, followed by a hairpin. Whenever we have the extended section with a straight like you've got over here, the moment you try and brake at the same spot as the previous layout, you always overshoot or you slide, because there's that much more speed. Slow in, fast out, just think of that.
Yeah.
Carrying loads of speed all the way from that right-hander behind you. And let's just watch the POV driver. He tends to be quite an early braker. So, boom, look at that. He's braking 2 kart lengths before the red line. Nice and early. I'm not saying brake that early, but definitely more than you would normally do compared to
So
the previous
like
layout.
around on the line or before it, I guess. Just testing.
About here, yeah.
Yeah.
Get the rotation. Let's just see what kind of apex this guy goes for. It's going for a relatively late one.
So here you just have to stick to the curb and just go late, so the turn opens up here, and you can just drive through it.
Gotcha. And when you apex here, do you immediately go left, or do you stay a bit more to the right?
No, I try to stay a bit more to the right, so it's more open for me.
Okay, yeah, because it is quite tight.
Yeah.
Looking at this, that's quite a tight turn. Because what the driver in front does on this case, he goes wide, goes to the right, and then he stays a bit left, and then flicks it to the left. But now you'll see, look, he loses it there ever so slightly. Yeah. He's had to put a lot of steering rotation to the left. Whereas kart 1, the POV, he stays right, flicks it to the left, and now he gains. You can see the gap is coming down. Gap comes down. And then final. Okay.
I've never done a corner like that before.
My bad. That was that's the final two corners.
Yeah. Because every hairpin, it's like every hairpin's like right and then left, and this is like left and then right.
So. Yep. Yeah, it's interesting to observe. The first hairpin is the double hairpin style. Excuse me, double apex, and it's off center, so you're turning left and you're braking, and then it goes sharp. So what you want to do, you have to brake for the first one, but you have to be mindful your speed on exit of the first hairpin going into the second hairpin is going to be very low.
Yeah.
So this part should be absolutely flat out. Keep it in the middle of the track. Go to the right. But the first part, I would say, again, early brakes. Reason you want to be early on the brakes over here and hard on them. Get the car rotated back on gas just before the apex. Accelerate through, accelerate. Build up that speed, build up the momentum. So by the time you get here, you can just lean your body out.
Yeah.
Stay hooked into the floor. Yep. Get close to the curb. Use all of the track on exit.
So for the first one, would I have to grab it late so I can open up the second turn more?
I would say I would say try and be late, but also the exit should be more in the middle as opposed to the left. So you see how on the left side of the screen,
the
later you go, the more you're going to end up to the left.
Yeah.
So if you make it a mid to late, similar to what this guy's done over here, you'll end up more in the middle. The reason is you don't want to waste meters at low speed by going unnecessarily to the left there.
And the speeds on corners like these is very low, so.
Exactly. That's right. So the idea here is to keep your foot pinned to the floor and carry as much momentum out up the turn. And that should be a quick lap at Karting Town. So when is the race?
It is on June 7th, and it's from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m.
That's a Ramadan timing.
Yeah.
That's no, all the best for it. Do you have a GoPro?
No, I did have a GoPro, but I got like one off of Amazon. It was like a Chinese one, and then it didn't really work properly, so I just returned it.
Right. If you're able to get any footage of it, it'd be very, very fun to watch.
For sure.
And I think with you, the thing is you're a very capable driver. I mean, you've won SWS before, so you know the lines, you know the racecraft. It's just about adapting to this layout. Have they done it before?
Have the layout?
Like, have other drivers done it before? Or is
I'm not sure about that.
Is it the first time they've ever done this?
I did check their Instagram, but they haven't done that layout in a long time. So
okay, generally it'll be new for a lot of drivers. So like, we discuss for those certain corners, just be mindful of where you're apexing, and generally just think of slowing fast down. The slower you can be on the entry, better exit you can get. I think a lot of guys, especially in the new layout at the back end of the track, they'll be going too fast into the hairpin, and the lose it on exit. So you catch them through smooth driving.
Well, my times have improved significantly since I started, because I started
Awesome.
karting, and mostly karting on every track in, I think, February of this year or late January.
Not bad, not bad. So solid 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, so Ramadan was just going to every track every night.
Wow. And they had lots of races then as well, right?
They had endurance cups, but I didn't really join them because 5 hours, I can't sit that long.
No. That's that you need teammates for as well.
Yeah.
All the best for the race. Let me know how it goes. I would love
For sure.
to.
I just wanted to ask one question before I leave. Is I have a very bad habit of following the person that's in front of me's line.
Yeah.
To try to catch up to them, knowing my line's better, but I still do
right.
that.
Oh,
is there any way to not do that?
Yeah, and I know how you feel. I did a race recently, and I got stuck in a lot of those battles where the guy's 5 seconds in front. I close that down, and then I just get stuck because they're technically a fast driver where they won't leave a clear space for you to pass. So you just get stuck behind their lines. What I found is always, rather than getting into their habit or their lines, you should focus on getting the best possible exit out the corners. The faster exit you can get, the quicker you're going to pass them, and they don't have a chance to defend. So, you should think about early braking for a lot of the corners. Like what I found when I'm in a race position is I'll catch them on the corner entry, and then I'm too close by the time we get to the apex. On the exit, they pull away. So all that time I gain is useless because I'll be stuck behind them for the next corner and the next corner. So also do the opposite. If the guy is on one line, don't mirror him, bumper to bumper. Maybe be a bit wider on the entry of the corner.
Yeah.
I would also say, go for even a dummy move, pretend you're going to go for an inside or a dive bomb. Make sure they know you're there. The quicker you can let them know you're there, the more pressure they'll feel, and they'll naturally make a mistake. That's what I found.
All right.
So, bump, give them a bit of a bump on their back, let them know you're there. And then, set up the best possible exit, because it's at the exit of the corner where you're able to gain the best possible chance to overtake.
Yeah, it's just because SWS is all about card draws. So
tell me about it.
SWS, my quali was decent. It's just there was someone in front of me defending for some reason, and I still got a faster time than them.
Yeah.
And then race 1 was amazing. I went from, I think, 11th or 12th to 8th position, and then the next 2 races were my cart, the top end is very bad.
Right. So you lost on the straights.
Yeah.
No, that's horrible. Well, let's hope you get a better cart for the next one.
Inshallah.
And I would love to know how it goes.
For sure. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, then. Take care, Saad. All right, we have got the other Saad joining. What's up, Saad? Saad.
Yo.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, everything is well. I think the last time you joined, you had a race coming up. Have you completed that race? Which one was it?
It still didn't happen. It's next week.
It's next week. 24 hours, right?
No, it's the next round of the Moroccan Championship.
It's the next round. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I remember you and Tariq were discussing, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be like the first time they race rentals in that track. So
it's confirmed, right?
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of the desert.
New track for everyone.
New track for like 95% of people.
Yeah, basically. That's so you excited for that race?
I'm really excited because I think the track is gonna like change a lot throughout the weekend because it's gonna be really dusty at the beginning.
Yeah. And how's the format for that race?
I think it's gonna be like usual. It's gonna be on 2 days. The first day is like 4 practices, qualifying, and then round 1, and then day 2 is pre-final and final.
Ah, okay. And how many drivers in total?
This time there should be less. We're probably gonna be like around 16.
16. Okay, so one heat basically.
Yeah, basically there's only gonna be one group instead of 2.
Right. Okay, I thought it was more drivers, and then you have group 1, group 2. Okay, that's not bad.
It's in the middle of nowhere, so only like the ones who's to get like an actual good like result are going.
The serious guys.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else that you know will be there?
There's there's gonna be all the guys who went to MENA with you.
Okay.
So that's gonna be like.
What are their names?
Hamza Bil Hassan.
Okay.
Saeed Bouchoua.
Yep, I think I know that one.
And Mehdi Kadiri.
Yes, Mehdi. Mehdi is a good driver.
Yeah.
Mehdi is he's an aggressive driver as well.
Yeah, I mean, like most people, yeah.
You have to be. No, of course. That's how it is. Do you have any footage you wanted to submit today?
I saw you live on YouTube, so I just decided to join and like saw.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. What we're gonna do? We're just wrapping up today because we've had about 4 or 5 people submit. We're gonna go over to Austin. Austin, can you hear us?
Yes.
Awesome. So Austin, let's bring up your footage from, what was the track name again?
Trackhouse Motorplex.
Trackhouse Motorplex. Let me just share my screen and we can take a look at it. It looks like a very nice track, and the footage you got is from a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice day. It's the hottest I've ever ran, so.
How many degrees?
It was 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
And what is this a session? Is it a practice or a race?
So this is a practice on a race weekend, so.
Okay. Generally, how many drivers are in this championship?
So we had, I think, 32 show up this race. The most we've ever had is 45.
Wow. Quite competitive then.
Oh, yeah.
How long have you participated in this for?
So I've been racing. I am halfway through my 2nd year racing here. And
when you sort of started, was it difficult to get used to this type of kart and things?
It was. I was lucky enough to have a really good friend who's really good at American karting, so he gave me some pointers and set me on the right track.
Awesome. And is this your home track, meaning they run all the races here, or is it different? Oh, all the races are here. All right. So you've done lots and lots of laps, basically.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. What are the main things that you're still struggling with?
So I'm just trying to understand what I could improve on. Obviously, coming up on a couple turns, there's a tight left-hander that's sort of uphill. That corner that I just did, I kind of struggle with. And then the final corner is a crucial one as well.
Gotcha. What I want to do first is actually look at your track layout. What was the name of it again?
Trackhouse Motorplex.
Yep, Trackhouse Motor. There we go. This is the one, right?
I'm waiting for it to appear.
Oh, sorry. I just don't think I'm sharing. Let's go for it now. There we go.
Yes, that is correct.
Awesome. Very scenic place. You got, is that a forest area behind you? And nice. Awesome. I'm going to give it a quick guess. You can also talk me through the layout. So start, finish, into turn 1.
Yep.
Are we using the outside now into a hairpin?
No. It's that right-hander that goes onto the long straight. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. Into fast right.
Yep.
Oops. And then come back down into the sharp right now.
Yes.
Awesome. Another, sorry, left that was.
Yeah.
Another left, down into a hairpin, back up double right, and final corner. This is how your track is, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Where are you struggling with specifically?
So, I think that hairpin is a really crucial one because
first hairpin.
No, the kind of the one in the center of the track.
This one.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Anywhere else?
The final corner is a difficult one as well.
And anywhere else?
And kind of after that large right-hander, that section. I don't know how to describe it without. Yeah, that section.
Awesome. Awesome.
Well, that turn included after it, because that's a big part of it.
So basically, the right over here.
Yeah.
Let's go through the lap. I want to familiarize myself as well with this. Basically, starting the lap now. That's full screen. Let's just make sure it's full screen over here. There we go. Is there braking for turn 1, or is it sort of?
If I'm alone and not in draft, then there's no braking. But when you're in draft and behind someone, the dirty air is really prevalent.
Yeah.
So
you have to do a bit of a lift, maybe even a brake, tap of the brakes.
It is a tap of the brakes to kind of rotate the cart.
That's nice. Got a nice exit. The guy in front went a bit wide. It's actually a lot faster on the video than the track looks, because we're already at our fast right over here. Let's start with this corner. So typically with long corners like this, it's all about keeping your momentum high. Whereabouts are you braking for this corner, if any?
So this corner, I don't think it's been a while. It's been like a month since I've ran, because that's how we do our races on a monthly basis. But I don't think I was braking that day. I might have been lifting. I probably tapped the brakes, and it may look like it, but that's just my foot moving.
Oh, gotcha. So. Yeah, I was just gonna say. I'd say it's interesting what the guys all the way in front are doing. They're using a bit of this rumble strip. How confident are you using this rumble strip over here?
I don't like to use a lot of the rumble strips on straightaways, primarily because of how low horsepower these karts are, and momentum is everything. So I had a day where I went over and I was looking at my data from my dashboard on my steering wheel, and I noticed that when I went over the curbs, it was like a 300 RPM loss, and I was looking at that like that's not good. So,
well, the best thing about having telemetry, like you got the micron there, is you have that proof. You know, it's not based on feel anymore. It's just on pure numbers. So reason I was proposing to go over the outside rumble strip just to make the track a bit wider. It's not a problem. You can still stay within the limits.
That's
ideally true. What we want to try to achieve over here is a mid to late apex to get the best possible exit. If we look at an overhead shot again of your track over here, we sort of want to skip the early part of the corner and then get onto the curb mid to late and carry that speed back onto the straight. So whenever we go for a mid to late apex, our turn-in should always be slightly later. So what you do is go slightly deep into the corner, almost as if you're going to miss it, or almost as if you're going to go into the wall over there, and then go for a turn. What you'll find, the earlier you go, the earlier you're going to get thrown back out wide.
Right.
of course, especially in these karts, it's about where the rubber's laid down. That will naturally change the more and more sessions that go on. Was this, so you said this is practice, so you'd say the track was fairly ramped up?
What do you mean exactly?
Like how many laps how much running was done for this?
This is not the only class. There's about 6 other classes, and all of the other classes are 2 strokes. So they do a lot more rubber buildup than we do. But this was like, I think, lap 6 for me.
Yeah. And people had gone out before you? There were some classes before you?
Yep.
Okay. So there's decent rubber there. And actually, you'll find if you're the first lap of the day compared to what you're doing now, this can be taken a lot more aggressively the more rubber's laid down. I would just propose a slightly later turn in, which you can experiment, of course, all experimentational, just as the rumble strip ends, right? So use that as a reference. As this ends and turns into grass, maybe start doing a turn in there. Have you tried that before?
I've looked at it before, and there's been some days where the grip has been lower, and I've said if I take it wider, then it'll be better. And I've looked at other people's onboards before, and I've done a lot of testing. So it basically comes down to feel at this point, which isn't always the best.
Yeah, it will change, as you said, based on track conditions. Later we can turn in. The easier it is to skip the early part of the corner, and then the curb, you might be able to see from this angle, is quite worn at the inside. It's quite black. That's because people have been running over it. And that's where you need to be.
Sorry. Primarily rental carts that have hit that curb.
Okay.
You'll see paint chippings and
they do rental carts here as well.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Just use that as a reference, maybe even just kiss the curb. And then open up the corner. Have you tried using a bit more runoff on exit here?
Actually, in the main race, I did, and that was to follow the person ahead of me, which draft is, of course, really important here. It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
It can vary about 0.6 actually from no draft to draft. Yeah.
Wow. That's huge.
So what happened in qualifying is that I lost the pack because I took too long warming up my tires, and my laps were a 58. And the laps of the guy ahead of me, who was my best friend, who was at the front of the pack, he was running 56s.
That is huge. Just because he was in the pack, he gained that. Yeah. So that makes sense why you're running in a pack over here as well.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the runoff over here, get up to the rumble strip, use up all of the track, especially when you're trying to keep momentum high. It's all about using as much track as possible. I also like your steering position because you're relatively neutral. If we just watch in that corner, for example, slight bit of input, only a few degrees of angle. You hold it there, recenter it, back to the middle. That's excellent. Is that something you've worked on over time? Your steering?
That is. I've mastered that pushing and pulling, which really works.
Excellent.
One of my friends who's really good, I noticed that so if he was turning to the left, he'd take his right hand and he'd move it down a little bit to kind of give him more leverage, which I really liked. So I started doing that a little bit here and there, but
yeah, that's excellent. You try different experiment different techniques, which will hopefully be able to help you. Coming on to now the fast left. This looks a bit different to, no, actually, maybe not. I need to look at the layout. So it's a S, you would say, yeah? S into a left. That's what it is. Yeah, it's all about placement of the cart over here. And based on the video, because we got carts in front as well. Coming out the corner. And it comes straight after. We've got a curb at the inside over here. And then a curb at the outside, which is what a lot of the drivers are getting right up to. And We have the curb at the inside. Beautiful. These are all great references. And of course, our exit curb. So the reason these are important is notice what the top guys are doing, for example, or the guys in front. Are those the quicker guys, you'd say, in the black helmet?
I'd say, I wouldn't say quicker. I'd just say more aggressive.
More aggressive, yeah.
But they are sort of towards the front. I will say that.
Yeah, it just gives us an idea, because what they're doing is they're not necessarily riding the curb, but they're kissing the edge. So they're using up all of the track available. Similar to what you're doing, you could be slightly closer. Moment you go to the left for this first part of the turn, immediately think about getting across to the right. So from here, we want to now focus to the right, widening up the entry for the crucial fast left. So what happens is, again, we got a curb at the outside as a limit. And I think you did a great effort over here where you're coming right up to the limits. Where's the breaking point over here? Just
so
before?
It's kind of hard to see because my camera's on the left-hand side, but there's a change in the pavement towards those white barriers. And that is my kind of tap the brakes and turn in moment. It's really hard to see. Yeah, somewhere right there.
Let me try and observe with your foot. Yeah, it's just about there. Yeah, excellent. Boom, you've just hit the brakes there. That's good. So you've hit the brakes, you've released. So it's actually are you trail braking or threshold braking? What's your...
I wouldn't say trail braking, but this corner always confused me because I feel like I can brake later, but when you get into actually driving it, it feels like you're, when you try to brake later, you end up too wide, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, and there's not a lot of reference points either, so it's pretty hard.
Okay. So basically, we want to take advantage of the exit curb. So, I'm not sure how strict they are with track limits, but it looks like you're able to.
Not, right? They don't care about track limits.
Wow.
As long as you're on the grass and you don't cut the track. So.
Yep. So that actually, allows us to take this corner a lot more aggressive, and we don't have to use the brakes as much, because if that runoff is available on exit, as you're doing, a quick tap of the brakes is enough. So as you said, no need to trail brake. More importantly, it's just a tight corner. So I would use a hard brake, a hard but short brake, just for rotation of the car. And almost get the brakes to turn for me. So early brakes, if you can just stab at them, maybe get a bit of counter steering as well, and then feed the power back again. Have you experimented riding the curb on the left?
I have, and it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. Those curbs are a lot higher in person. I think they're pretty tall. So this track is modeled after a track in Italy that was torn down, Parma.
Wow. Yeah.
That track had tall curbs, so naturally they wanted tall curbs for this track. Gotcha.
Just in terms of, millimeters over here, maybe close the distance ever so slightly. I wouldn't say it's that important. I mean, you can see this tiny gap over here. The reason you can get away with this is because you have that extra runoff, right? You're able to run it all the way out. So, it might be 1/2 tenth or something you gain through there.
Yeah.
I think this is all about being aggressive and using this extra runoff to your advantage, Don't play it safe, send it kind of thing.
Right.
Carry the speed all the way as the curb ends. And it's it's interesting because this left-hand turn becomes so much easier. So what you've done is you've cut all the way outside, and then it's just about minimal steering input. So it becomes a straight line almost between here and here. You don't even have to turn that much. So I get what you mean. The first right is more difficult than the second. Excuse me, the first left is more difficult than the second left.
Yeah.
Yep, using up all of the track on the left, on the outside as well. Yep, right up to the curb. Now the tricky hairpin that you were talking about. Again, that's very, very interesting in terms of track limits, because you got a lot of runoff to play with.
Yeah.
So what's your braking reference over here?
So this is one of the issues I have with this corner. I feel like my braking is too early. I'm not sure if it's because I'm behind a cart and I don't want to run into them, but you see where that dirt patch kind of starts on the right-hand side. That is my
here?
You'll see it. No, not the curb. The brake right there. Yeah.
There you go.
When that bit of dirt kind of like gets bigger, like right there. Yep, that's my braking point.
Okay, I wouldn't say that's too early, because
I was thinking about that.
The earlier the better, because if you go too late, you end up overshooting. You might even miss the apex. What you've done here, control the cart. You've actually hit a decent apex, and you've run out wide. The thing is, with the runoff, it closes very quickly. You see how the dirt appears straight away.
Yeah.
So you can't abuse it as much as you can on the previous corner. So I would say this corner is essential to do a late apex. And if we look at the overhead shot, just reduce that. The later you can turn, so the deeper you go into the corner, the easier it is to sort of do something like that. It becomes almost a V. So you straight line and then you V. You see that?
Yeah.
And so it's almost as if you're going to go into the barrier in front. You turn at the last moment, but you cut across the track. What this helps you do is, number one, get onto the accelerator quicker. It also allows you to brake later. I know we were discussing about braking. Early braking is fine at the moment, but why not? You keep using this as a reference, the dirt, and brake slightly, I'd say halfway as this dirt patch is. But the turn-in could be as the dirt patch ends. You see, as it turns into grass again, that's the turn-in point. So all this time you're straight line going deep into the corner, and you can carry the brakes deep into the corner. Later turning, you see how we're turning quite early over here, right?
So there is a reason for that. It's kind of hard to tell from satellite and from GoPro footage, but right where you would do that, there is a large concrete, like basically deformation bump, as you will.
Is
and I've looked at it. Or? No, it's actually it raises up. You can see if you look ahead, the cart, his left wheel is kind of right there. Yep.
Yeah.
And from there all the way around to right there. Yep. There is. It's just a large, just a bunch of bumps of overpoured concrete. So you kind of had to run lower to avoid that. And I've looked at it, and what it does is incredible, because it lifts. When you catch it with your rear wheels, it lifts your front inside tire off the ground. And when that does, you lose feeling in the steering wheel. So you try to turn more. And then when it sets back down, it just wants to slide you out.
Wow. That's very useful. And you can even see the guy in front, his front inside tire raises slightly, ever so slightly. And that can be scary as a driver, you know. You don't have confidence through that turn. It's one of those, you know, where you either have to find a work around it or just keep going early as you're doing. However, have you so you've experimented going deep into this corner, right?
Yep.
What has been your overall experience? It just doesn't feel right, or it unsettles the car?
It going over it doesn't feel right, but when you avoid it, it does. It feels all right, I guess, but
feels better. What about in lap times? What was the difference?
In lap times, it's a pretty big difference. It's about, I think, 1/4 of a tenth, or no, 3/4 of a tenth or so.
Okay. So I think we've concluded that it's better to go early then, right?
Yeah.
The problem with going early is then you have to brake earlier.
Right.
The later you try and go, the more you're going to scrub the tires or maybe slide the cart, and it's difficult to reach the apex as well. I would rather you brake nice and early, just as you're doing, and then accelerate through the corner. Is this a trail brake you're doing? You're braking into the corner?
No. So there's an issue because with my sim setup, I like to push with my leg, and what that creates is it pushes on the pedal. And I've talked with my dad who works on the cart, and he says that when I do it, it's not actually touching the brake disc with the brake pad, so it kind of looks like I'm braking, but I'm not.
Yeah. Early brake, get the cart rotated, accelerate through the corner. And this curb, I wanted to ask, is it lethal? Have you tried taking a bit of the curb?
If you hit it early, it's good, but if you hit it later, it's good. But then you can kind of see it's a little bit bumpy up ahead.
Yeah, the grooves over there.
Yeah.
I would say start experimenting by using the curb, just to try and give you some kind of a boost out the corner. So I don't know if you've watched the two-stroke guys go through this corner, how they attack it.
Yeah.
Do they tend to ride this curb?
Not really, no. They do through the S's, but not here.
Okay, not here. I think you're doing a good effort then. It's just on the exit now.
Yeah.
I think overall on this lap in isolation, let's focus more on smooth steering. So what happens is, in a straight line, you initiate turning. Look, you're turning. Now you correct. So from left, we're back to right.
Yeah.
Now we're back to left. Now we're back to right. Now we're back to left.
Yeah.
Left, right. So there's a lot of corrections. What we want to do, I know it's bumpy and things like that. Have a firm grip on the wheel. Use the brakes to turn. Right. So hard brakes. Get the rears to lock up a little, and then one smooth motion of steering. So avoid any corrections. That's all. Smoother you can be, less corrections, easier it is to get a better exit. That's the main thing I can conclude from that. Experiment with the curb. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Leave it. But there's really not much you can do beyond that. Just that runoff there is very awkward. It comes out on you so quickly.
Yeah.
And I think in that case, you're a bit too hot as well, or you're using too much runoff that you're wide, and now you have to aggressively come back to the left and save it.
Right.
Final couple of corners. Let's just see how this looks. So we got the double right into the final corner. Okay. How are these corners?
They're pretty tight because there's a lot of elevation change. So once you make this right-hander here, it is uphill, which is a big change.
Awesome. Yeah, there you go. You're climbing uphill now, right?
Yep.
And then
you're downhill and then
into the final corner. Excellent. I'd say for the double right, you're pretty smooth. Is there any braking here? Maybe at the curb on the left?
If I'm not in draft, then there is none. You just kind of throw the cart in and you kind of use the turning to slow it down. But in this case, I do have to touch the brake and get it to slow down.
I like that you have the confidence to throw the cart in and as you said, use the turning to almost slow it. I'd say you took a nice apex through there. You're staying on the bump of the guy in front. And then again, runoff over here. Have you tried to use some of the exit curb, or it just doesn't make sense? It's wasting meters.
This is a curb that you do not want to use because it's pretty. The actual curbing is pretty deep, and then on the other side where you see that runoff, there's also a pretty big gap or bump between the runoff and the curbing. So if you get on that, then it kind of just pulls you in, and you kind of get high centered on it, and you can't turn.
Yeah. Okay, so avoid it basically.
Yeah.
I think you did a great job to use all of the available track up to the curb. Flick it to the right. This looks absolutely perfect. I think you're doing great effort, and you're keeping up with the guys in front. Final corner now. This is the interesting one. Where's the braking point for here? Is it feeling again?
I really don't know exactly because I like to go off the sound of the engine or primarily how I feel. There's not really any reference points that I can really look at.
No. It looks very open. And what about this blue barrier? Is that always in a fixed place?
So sometimes they like to pull it out, and that really messes you up. Sometimes they like to get rid of it. In this case, they had it pulled up pretty deep, and I think every session of the day someone hit it.
Yeah. No, that's it. Well, the reason why that barrier will affect your braking, because again, we can abuse a lot of the runoff. There's a lot of runoff there. What I propose, always go for an earlier brake for these kinds of corners, especially because you got a long straight coming up. So the earlier you can get on the brakes, the sooner you can get onto the gas and just be accelerating, use the outside curb and come back on track. As opposed to risking it by braking deep, by braking deeper into the corner or trail braking, and then you're trying to build up that momentum as you get onto the straight, because somebody behind who has a better exit will pass you on the straight. Whenever you have a straightaway, always go for the best possible exit speed. I think you're doing well in terms of using the track. This curb looks very worn though. It looks like people are leaning on it, no? On the early part?
So that is primarily rental carts that with people that are inexperienced, they'll say
right.
They hit it. I've hit that a couple times and it just completely upsets the cart. It will throw you in a different direction.
Okay. So just avoid it. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'd say again over here it's just all about sharp stab of the brakes, get rotation, and get back onto the gas as soon as possible to build up that RPM, build up those revs. And like you could have been a bit more aggressive as well on the curb. Yeah. So, see how the guys in front are slightly wider?
With that, my dad, he did a lot of rental stuff out here with a bunch of professionals, and the first thing he told me is do never try and drive yourself out to the runoff. It is not fast. So I was noticing a couple laps ago how these people, they were driving themselves out there, and then they had to turn back in to get away from the barrier, like you saw him do that.
Yeah.
So if you just straight line it, then it's a lot shorter of a distance.
That's true. Especially because you guys are 4-stroke. You're right.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a limit to how much you can use the runoff to your advantage. But as you said, if you're doing what the guy in front does all the way out, and then you got to correct back all the way in, it will turn out to be slightly slower. And that's pretty much a lap. So I think this is a fascinating championship because you got the chassis of a race car. Okay, albeit the engine is a bit compromised, but you got the telemetry there. How often do you use telemetry? Is it after every session?
After every session, yeah. I go back, I look, and primarily for that one, that was somehow my best laps ever on the track, considering I haven't been out there. Those were my best laps ever on the track, that lap right there.
Wow.
That put me second fastest in the session. So I was pretty set.
That's excellent. Well, you drove pretty well there. I couldn't really pick out any serious, improvements. And I think anything else that we discuss is more experimental. Depending on the track conditions, depending on how much grip is laid down. So, have you? Would you experience rain there?
Oh, we do. That's that's one of the hard ones.
Yeah, that's tricky because the line changes. Do you use wet tires or is it slick tires?
Yep, we use wet tires as well.
Yeah, excellent. And when's the next race for?
I think the next race is this upcoming weekend. So this Saturday, and then I have a practice session on Friday.
Awesome. How's the format then?
The format is a bit funky. Qualifying is only 2 laps, so it's pretty hard to adjust.
Okay.
And then we have a pre-final and a final, and that gets pretty fun.
Well, all the best for the race this weekend. Let us know how it goes. And if you do have any footage from it, we'd love to, analyze it in the next session, hopefully.
All right.
It's been a pleasure, Austin.
All right.
Take care.
Hey, Austin, I have one question, Austin. I saw that you're using a Micron 5. I'm thinking of buying one as well. I plan to mainly use it for rental karting, so without all the sensors for RPM and so on. How good is it just for the lap time? Like, is it reliable within a tenth or something like that?
So the thing with the Micron is you have to have a wire connected to the engine for like spark plug, or you have to connect it to the spark plug to read your RPMs. And
sure, but let's say I don't need that. I only want the lap time, just GPS.
Yeah, it does GPS. Yeah.
But how reliable is the GPS?
It's really reliable. I've never had a false reading from it ever compared to what the track tells me I ran. So
if the track tells you, I know, 45 seconds and 1/10, is it going to be within 1/10 or?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thank you.
I think the main thing with the Micron is indoor, because Andre, you're driving indoor track, right?
No, actually found I just haven't looked enough. There is a very nice outdoor track and I'm going to that one now.
Yeah, excellent. Microns are very expensive because they have that option for, I think it's water, temps, RPM, and as Austin said, you connect that to, the engine and certain components of the kart engine, and it's designed for race karts. Is it rental karts you'll be driving there outdoors?
Yeah, it's mainly 100% rental karts. And I just want to know, like, at the time of the lap, I want to know the plan, not at the end of the session, because it's very hard to remember.
Of course.
And if your track isn't recognized by the Micron, you can set it to like learn the track. So as you go out for your first session or first laps, it will read your line and then it will convert that back, and then you can set the start finish line point.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The only issue is the mounting, because kart to kart, you'll have to keep on removing it, putting it back on. If it's your own kart, which is what they use Micron for, owner karts, you just stick it on there with one bracket. You'll have to look into that.
So what they usually do, I can usually request to have one of the rental carts for me for the day, so I can just install it once, and I just keep using that for the entire day, which is also good because differences between rental carts are kind of like out of the question. I can just focus on my lines and on my technique.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent. If you can get a Micron on a rental car, please send us some photos. And that's impressive. You don't normally see that.
All right. Sounds good.
Stevie, go ahead.
I'm all right, mate. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. It's nice to hear you. We missed you at the beginning of the session.
Yeah, I had trouble again with the microphone.
Yeah, I think you weren't unable to unmute it. That's what it was. So you're probably saying something.
Something to do with the VPN.
Yeah. VPN. Okay, gotcha. With Meet, I don't know how the connection is actually. Do you have any questions or anything to add to today's session?
No, I've just been watching and learning. I was going to the track on Wednesday.
Yes.
And it poured down with rain.
Oh, okay.
I got cancelled then, and I went back Saturday.
Yeah.
And they've got racing all weekend.
Okay.
So I'm going back Wednesday again to see what I can do.
How did it go after we did the analysis that day?
Well, I was gonna do what you suggested.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, but like I said, it rained.
Gotcha. I saw you got some kind of a mount. Is it a video camera?
Yes.
Mount?
Yeah, I've got a mount.
Amazing.
I've got a helmet mount.
Yes.
The actual camera cost me £40.
Okay, not bad.
So that's one thing I want to look at when I go around the track.
Definitely.
Is the video downloadable, viewable?
Yeah.
Or is it a waste of money?
I think for £40, it's almost a no-brainer.
Well, yeah, we're trying it out and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of the quality and all, I think it should be decent. It won't be crystal clear 5K or something like that, but as long
as 4K, I think.
4K, yeah, 4K is not bad.
And I've also got a complimentary phone mount as well.
Super. See, worst case, you can even use your phone and see how that.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely. We'll try and get some footage. I'd love to review it with you in next week's session.
As soon as you've got some footage, you'll be the first to know.
Absolutely. Well, put it on the community page, make a post about it, and just share a link to it as well. That'd be awesome.
Definitely.
Guys, it's been a pleasure. We're going to wrap up now. Unless anyone else has anything else, we'll call it a night.
That's it then. It's a wrap.
I think that's a wrap. That was a solid session. Guys, let's catch up next week on Sunday, hopefully. And looking forward to meeting you all then.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you.